Welcome back to Late Night at the Movies, episode 29, Nightmare on Elm Street. All right.
That was
Set the
creepy,
mood
bro.
there. That's kind of what you could find in terms of score on Spotify for this film. I couldn't find the lullaby anywhere. But anyways,
No way.
no, well, at least I couldn't find it prior to the starting the show.
Yeah.
So for a quick search, I probably could find it if YouTube.
I thought out of anybody you would be able to find it.
Anyways, welcome back everybody to Late Night at the Movies. We are doing our annual kind of like horror Halloween movie episode. We try to do these every October, and we have a returning guest this episode, Christine. How you doing?
A long freaking time.
Yeah, since
Christine.
I know.
I know. Like, what the hell? You can get her on at this long. Like, it takes this long to get her on. It's we got to start talking. Oh my god, we got to start talking about this one.
Ooh. Yeah, that is.
We're
very
scared.
scary. Rob's up in the chat with your sister. Scary stuff.
Well, I think they were following along, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah, I
they
believe
had the
so.
actual show notes.
This is funny. Rob, I believe, just watched the movie for the first time.
I know.
From what I understand, and so has Arv. Apparently, look at this, Arv. What's
How do
going
people
on?
Not watch this movie.
Yeah, it is weird, right? Because this seems
Bro.
to be one of the quintessential like horror films from
You have,
your
like,
childhood.
Three main
Yeah.
horror guys, and like Freddy, Michael, Jason. Those are your.
Exactly.
How have you not seen this movie?
Very true.
And there's like 18 of them.
Well, to be honest, I haven't watched. I have now, but
Yeah.
the one that took me the longest to actually watch was Friday the 13th.
Me
I
too.
probably wasn't.
Me
It
too.
probably wasn't until until I was a teenager the first time I seen
That was the
Yeah,
best one, man.
Yeah. I wouldn't say so.
I like it different for different reasons. Probably we can get into that topic. It'll probably be in one of my
Same.
categories. So, but yeah, no, that
Okay,
this
but-
is fuck, man. I don't know. You guys have watched. I was watching it when I was like between 5 and 10, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Crazy.
It's been a few years probably since we've seen it, I think, because we own the collection
years,
of
yeah.
all except for actually I think we have them all except for Jason versus Freddy. I think we have all of them on
You're
because
not missing out anything.
I know I've seen it. I know we're not missing out anything,
I
but
do have that. I think.
maybe
still.
yeah.
I think I have it burned.
Yeah, I haven't watched them all. I was trying to watch them all this year, even though we own them all. I haven't watched them all, but there was a remake, obviously 2010. This is the original 1984, I believe, one they're going to be talking about. Yeah, 1984 that we'll be talking about here today. Directed, of course, by Wes Craven and written by him as well. And yeah, it is a classic. I definitely think it holds up, honestly, from just watching it this week. It had been a while since I've seen the original myself, even probably a few years since we bought in that collection.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, right out the gate, I'll say I think it holds up. I think it's pretty good in terms of like when it was made and
100%.
yeah,
the graphics
absolutely.
and everything at that time.
Yeah.
I
Everything.
mean,
We'll
I
get
hate
into
I hate watching the old. I would hate watching old like horror movies. Brings back too much fucking. Stirs up too much shit. It was good times back then, man.
AT looks like Jason without the mask. There you go.
Right, bro.
Yeah, so there you go. We got a couple of people that have just seen it for the first time. So I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments as we go along here too. That'd be interesting. So there you go. So at the top of every show, though, we do usually mention our history with the film. So before we get into that, since it is Halloween time, and it actually has been a very good month, honestly, of new horror coming out. Did you want to mention some of the picks of things maybe to check out that we've just seen this last month? Because like normally around this time, obviously always a lot of new horror related movies come out in theaters and on TV, but
Some of them are just trash.
yeah, but this is actually this month and last month, I would say September, October, there's been a lot of really good offerings this year, actually, of stuff that I would say I would recommend to check out. Even a couple things we haven't seen as of yet. But yeah, did you want to mention a couple?
Terrifier 2.
Terrifier 2. Terrifier
If
2.
you like shitty, very gory, movies or like horror movies, and you're not looking for like a huge plot, like nothing psychological really, Terrifier
Yeah.
and Terrifier 2 that just came out.
Yeah. You can find
That's an
Terrifier on like most streaming now, right? I think Tubi has
Tubi
it.
has it, and I wanna
maybe
say-
Amazon too.
I think Amazon Prime has it as
Maybe,
well. I know they
yeah.
have All Hallows Eve.
Netflix doesn't. All Hallows Eve, which is not as good, but it's the first appearance of that guy.
Oh, the clown?
Yeah, Terrifier. If you guys hadn't seen, is a movie that I guess is making the rounds in the news now because people are apparently passing out and puking in
Puking
theaters
and-
after watching this film. So we went to see
Yeah,
it.
that's exactly what I want to watch right now.
It's pretty interesting. But of course, we got Halloween Ends, the end of the trilogy of new Halloween movies that have come
Yeah,
out the last
that
few
was huge.
years. That's come out. A new Hellraiser came out this year, which they've basically,
Yeah.
I guess it's like a remake, essentially. I guess,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
of Hellraiser. It's a female,
female Pinhead,
actress as well
essentially.
in this one, yeah, which is the first time.
I just like how you said that.
They've had female Cenobites, but not
Yeah,
Pinhead's always
Pinhead's always been, yeah,
been the one guy. Yeah.
Well, 3 different people I think have played him now, but
Well,
over the
yeah,
years,
but they're essentially the same guy.
there's a new movie that just came out on streaming services today that's been out in theaters. I think just came on Disney today. We have yet to watch it, but I've heard really good things about it. Barbarian, that's apparently really good.
Yeah.
That's come out.
That's one of our
I seen
two
it the other
watch
day,
ones.
yesterday
Yeah.
on the site.
Guillermo
I
del
watched it.
Toro's Cabinet
Cabinet
of
of
Curiosities
Curiosities.
just came out. Yeah, on Netflix.
The first 4 episodes out right now.
Yeah, we started watching that. So yeah, there's been a lot of good stuff. There's more too. I think
I know,
we're missing
why
out
am I
on
blanking out?
Smile. We watched in theaters. Yeah, that one is
We
all
just
There's a
right.
watch
few
too
of them.
much and then I forget.
Yeah, there's been some good stuff, and just like not just good stuff. I mean, depending on how you think, what you think of some of those films there, but ones that are important to horror franchises, essentially, right? So like
Just
like
watched-
Michael Myers, Hellraiser. Yeah, I
just
haven't
watched
seen
another
that.
one.
We're gonna probably watch that tomorrow or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, we've got it on the list. So
I've no, I just seen something by the A24 Productions and stuff like that, and I think it was Men on Amazon. It was called Men. It was
Okay.
some chick,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
some girls that had to move out to a, like it was, I don't know, just a further out of the town, out of the city and stuff. I felt it was good, man, but I was late when I was
Pearl?
watching it.
Pearl, we just
Pearl and
watched.
X?
Pearl
Yeah.
and X. Yeah, X came
I
out.
actually heard of that Pearl too. I heard that
Pearl
one.
is the prelude to X. So if you watch X first, and then if you watch Pearl afterwards, it actually explains the character that's in X. You got to watch it afterwards. But both of those came out this year, and those are pretty good too.
I enjoyed those.
Yeah, Pearl. There's A24. Anything by them is usually pretty good too. Like yeah,
Come
definitely.
on, I don't know if they
99.
Bloomhouse had anything.
VHS 99 wasn't good. No.
No.
Yeah, that just
What
came
about
out.
Bloomhouse had anything this year too? Because they sometimes get some.
They
good
did the
horror stuff
Halloween.
coming out.
Halloween Ends is Bloomhouse,
Yeah,
I
but,
believe.
like,
Is it?
Besides the big
I think
names,
this is
they
the
haven't
last
really.
Well, they
Blumhouse
do-
Halloween film because I think they said they're not doing anymore. I think they said past this one. Even this one may have not been them. I know the first
No, I'm
two
pretty
were.
certain it was.
I'm pretty sure too. So yeah, a lot of really good stuff. Hey, what's going on, Farhan? Yeah, a lot of pretty good stuff has come out this past month. Honestly, quite surprising actually. Just a lot of sequels to well-known horror franchises have come out and long-awaited stuff too, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a
Oh,
while.
yeah,
since
for
we've
sure.
done a lot of stuff. Honestly, the only thing we haven't seen, I feels like, is a new Freddy movie or a new
Well,
Jason
they really
movie.
need to redeem that Freddy movie because that last Rebirth one was,
The 2010 one.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can get into that later.
No, I know.
But yeah, so welcome back. It has been a year since last year you came on for Late Night at the Movies. Of course, you can catch Christine over at Late Night Collectors Community most of the time these days.
You've been delayed on that too.
Yeah, cracking some packs sometimes. She's on those shows.
They're slacking over there with you, Chris.
I
Christine,
know.
What's going on?
I know. She said that. She's like, it's been a while since I've been on their show as she sat down here today. So
I was like, this feels weird.
yeah. So there's so you can usually catch her in some of those videos over there as well. But last year we did Trick or Treat, which is a classic we always watch every year. We
I
really,
actually haven't watched yet.
yeah. Do you remember that one, Jay? That was quite fun. Trick or
Killer
Treat,
Trick or treat, yeah, with the clown, yeah,
and then they got
with
Killer
the
Clowns. Yeah.
the clown. Like, she's going like this. That's why it threw me off with the pumpkin, right?
Yeah.
Of course, sadly, Christine, because usually we let our guests make the pick before they come on. Not sadly, I'm glad we're doing this movie, but still, we've yet to do Halloween.
You
I'm
watch
really
your
upset about
words,
that.
man.
Halloween's my favorite.
Freddy's my favorite.
Right. So she prefers Freddy to Michael Myers. So
And I like Jason out of all of them, bro. Really, that's pretty cool, man. They got a 3-way.
We'll have to do another one of these for sure. So, but yeah, no, this was a lot of fun. So, why don't you give us your history with the film then? Would you recall your first time seeing this? Any stories associated with this? Because that's kind of what we mentioned at the start of the show.
You're really putting my brain to work here because I don't know. I suck at like pinpointing very specific things in life.
Yeah. Did you see it as a kid?
So do I.
I watched as a kid. I must have been with my dad, I'm sure, but I don't really remember. But I've always been a shitty sleeper, so this has always resonated with me because I'm like, I would win. I don't sleep very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I just remember really connecting with the actual movie, but nothing like a specific feeling or anything like that. I'm terrible at this stuff.
I remember. No, I mean, I
That's
remember
what he
the
did
first
when he
time
was
I
2 years
watched
old.
it.
Go
First
on.
time I watched it, I was probably pretty young too. I do have a memory of being at a drive-through when I was younger, and Freddy, one of the Freddys, not this one.
Right.
Sorry, one of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, was playing at the drive-through when I was younger. It was like a double feater that we went to or something like that. And I
To
remember,
drive it, eh?
yeah, exactly. So I remember being drive-through. Sorry,
I know.
At least I didn't say Friday the 13th when you were promoing the show.
Oh my God.
This week, Jay mentioned that we're going to be watching Friday the 13th on Late Night Chat. So, there's that as well. So, yeah, I remember it was Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know which one it was that I watched, but I watched one of them at the drive-in.
Okay.
And it was like a double feature when I was younger. That's probably the first time I seen Nightmare on Elm Street, any of them. And then when I got a little bit older, I think I seen the original. It was always kind of on,
right?
I think around this time of year. So,
oh yeah.
So
it was easy to find.
Yeah, it was like a double feature. It might have even been this and like Friday. It was like a horror double feature, I think, when I went to the drive-in. So
that's cool.
How about you, Jay?
Oh fuck, man! I watched this probably not too long after it came out the first time. I think I must have been 6 or 7, maybe. I used to, like I said, most of these horror movies, when you go back to this far back, it usually brings me back to, like I said, going and renting movies at the Jumbo Video and shit like that. That was Jumbo Video with free popcorn, man. We were kids, right? So that's how my dad used to shut us up, right? Like just bring us there when we'd have the popcorn and we could just walk around, right?
Yep.
But I was always intrigued. Me and my brother, both of us, were always intrigued by that little castle setup thing that they had up for the horror movies. So I think that pulled us into a lot of this whole watching horror movies. I've never, I've always wondered how grown men could be scared of a horror movie. I don't know. Like I enjoy watching them. I mean, who doesn't like that little bit of boo and whatever? But there's a lot of grown men out there, like friends of mine, and I almost want to call everybody out, but yeah, that just don't like horror movies. That they couldn't watch this because they would think this would be shit.
Yeah, we've talked about that on the show before. One of our fellow co-hosts doesn't like watching anything horror related. Lewis,
it's surprising.
Yeah. So like,
it weirds me out so much.
Yeah, I agree because I don't necessarily like. That's why when we even heard the headlines of people passing out or puking by watching this film that's out in theaters, we went and watched it in theaters. We were just like, I don't understand what gets people like that, right? Unless they were like hammered and they got sick or something.
Yeah,
that's about the only thing. Eat bad butter.
Yeah, so it seems weird to me, but I agree with you. It doesn't bug me. But there you go. I find that interesting though that we all have in terms of like the famous slasher ones. My favorite's Michael Myers. He said his is Jason and yours is Freddy. So here we go. So we're gonna be talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, the original film here tonight. Rumor is there might be one more next year. Okay, I did not know that. I know that recently Robert Englund mentioned that he wanted like Kevin Bacon to take over the role for him.
Oh,
yeah, he
we're trying a couple different
he publicly said that recently. I think someone asked him because I guess he gets asked obviously around this time of year or whenever he does interviews or he does podcasts. Someone had mentioned that that who would he like to like replace him, and they said Kevin Bacon. So,
oh no, they I honestly believe.
Well, no, I think, are you talking about Terrifier 1 with the chainsaw? Or no, a saw? Well, it's just a saw, literally a bandsaw?
Terrifier 2 also has that, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Did you see it, Arv? But yeah, I get it. I could see how people feel. I guess, if you got like a weak stomach, I guess. Linda wants
But-
to know what's on Christy's shirt. Yeah, that's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That's another one of our favorite horror
Go-to.
movies. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's definitely more cheesy and funny than
Oh my God,
scary.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a
Hilarious.
purpose.
Isn't it the one with the guy with the little fucking
No, that girl in the bedroom. Yeah, okay, yeah.
the little
That
hat?
was gross when he came in and he's
Oh.
like shaving pieces off of like her leg
Yeah.
and shit like that. Yeah, you got to watch these movies, Jay.
Spoilers.
Terrifier.
No,
Yeah,
but like still, it's still you're watching a movie. You're watching it on TV.
I thought so too. Yeah,
Like
the
I mean,
Saw
I
was
if
pretty
I
bad.
see, yeah, but if I seen something like Saw, if I walked into that in real life,
Right,
I might have a different I might
Well,
to
100%.
my stomach, obviously, but
of course.
watching it, I mean, I thought it was. Don't get me wrong. You think stuff like that is kind of crazy for even people to be thinking about and having to do, right?
Right,
But I mean, at the end of the day, you're just watching a movie. You're not walking into that in real life. So I
I
don't see how
yeah.
that tricks people's heads.
I get it. I get what you're saying because I honestly feel I have a more visceral reaction to like psychological stuff sometimes when I watch films, and also like things like even like dramas that'll get to me like emotionally and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Horrors though don't do that for me. Like I laugh, I have fun with them, but I don't normally, unless it's like a psychological horror type stuff. Like some of those, like
Or
when
like
you're
some of the jump scares. Even,
yeah,
but-
sure.
But even the jumps, like I don't remember the last time I got jump scared in something anymore. I don't know if it's just because I'm not listening to it loud enough, or if that's the thing. It's not surprising me enough, or maybe
Yeah.
you just watch so many of them, you kind of are expecting something to be at pop out or like make,
Yeah.
freak you out at maybe at one point, so you're bracing yourself. But I remember as a kid, like I used to like jumping and like that, and like
Sure.
holy shit, right? And like
the thrill, right?
no,
I
not-
mean,
yeah,
that's that's why people ride roller coasters and shit like
Yeah.
that, right?
you
So
get the
yeah. Adrenaline,
this doesn't surprise me because they have a very popular show out now. I mean, like that show's
very popular.
very popular.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's great. Watch it. I recommend it to
I know
everybody.
you like it. I know you recommended it before. So there you go. So there's Jay's recommendation. I think it's out right now. Actually, I started American Horror Story so far. It's fine, but it hasn't
It's
really
going
gotten,
along that same line, eh, bro? And
Yeah,
it's
it
weird.
hasn't really gotten scary. I would say this
No.
one so far, right?
It's getting touchy again.
It usually takes a little while.
Yeah, it's about murders in the gay community in the early is it late 70s in New York, I think. Like
I think
Yeah,
it's closer than this time.
it's a period piece. No, I think it's supposed to be back in the day in New York when it was
I
actually
thought it was 90s. I thought in that era, in that time
maybe
frame.
you're
I don't know. I might be wrong too as well.
I think you are. No, I think he is.
No, I mean, I'm just saying I might be wrong.
Funny the way you said it.
Yeah.
You're fucking wrong.
maybe he's not.
I thought it was the movie that they just did with the Peter Evans Peters. So I thought that was more based loose, more further back.
Yeah, no, I think it's around the same time, like New York, when
Right.
you had like because they had bathhouses and stuff like that in this
Yeah.
one,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Well, they have bathhouses now, bro.
Well,
They're not
watch
as
the
common.
show. Watch the
Yeah.
show. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I always kind of like
Yeah.
American Horror Story as well, but I don't feel like it's been scary really so far. The first two episodes that I watched, but anyways, let's get into the categories here because there's a lot to talk about. Let's see here. Also, okay, so we're actually in the new year. I'm thinking maybe we're gonna try to add some new categories, maybe take out some old categories here. We've had the same format for a couple of years, so if you guys have any suggestions for categories throughout the show here today, or if you want to message me, if you know me personally, or if you want to message our Instagram account with suggestions, let me know for maybe new categories that we can add to the show here. And I think we're going to take a look at it moving into the new year. We might change things up a bit because it's always good to kind of talk about different things as well, right? So, yeah, first off, this is a newer one that we added not too long ago, the check your stats category here.
I totally forgot about this one.
Yeah,
Check your stats.
check your stats is kind of something that like I do almost like half-ass internet research stuff where I kind of just look up
Oh.
interesting facts about the movie and things I've
Okay.
come across and stuff like that. It's literally anything anybody can pull up off the internet, and sometimes these things aren't true. We find out, right, with a lot
You
of this
didn't
stuff.
preempt, tell me about these things.
I
Forgot to.
mentioned
It's
that I'm
okay.
reading up
You-
on
you
some
were,
of this
yeah.
stuff. Yeah. So, anyways,
I
so
didn't.
it's not for you.
I got it on Prime, so a lot of the times I can see extra stuff on the side. The
Exactly.
IMDb
You can
part,
go on
right?
IMDb. They have these
All
facts
the
as
groups,
well.
trivia, stuff like that. Yeah.
So yeah, this is interesting because they say that this was based off of like Wes Craven got the idea from an actual real life story in the 80s that he had heard there was an epidemic of people dying in their sleep during nightmares. And
Okay.
so like it actually is based. It was for immigrants from Cambodia, apparently, and the condition was known as Asian death syndrome. Wes Craven read the story in a newspaper article and got the idea for a serial killer who stalks victims in their sleep. Named him Freddy. I don't know if Krueger was the last name of the person as well. Yeah, he was inspired by a man that bullied him as a kid, whose name was
Oh shit.
yeah, exactly. So that's pretty interesting as well. Yeah, his school bully, Fred Krueger, was
Oh,
his
shit.
school bully. That's what. Yeah. So, and of course, something that I'm sure we'll get into. This is Johnny Depp's first film. This movie, his first big acting role in a film.
Movie. Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting in and of itself as well. I think he was 21 when he was in this. He apparently had said when he ran into Wes Craven years after the fact, when he blew up after this film, Wes Craven was hesitant to actually ask if he would make a cameo appearance as like a different character or pop into. Yeah, because there's been a lot of characters throughout the different Nightmare on Elm Streets that have returned for cameo roles and stuff like that and other things or appearances. He was hesitant to ask Johnny Depp to do this though, because he became such a big star. But when he actually spoke to him and saw him years after the fact, he said that he would have gladly done it. Actually, he would have returned after working with it. So like that's interesting.
He did Tusk.
Right.
Or not Tusk.
He was in Tusk.
Yeah, it was Tusk.
That's right. For an uncredited role.
Yeah.
That's right. For Kevin Smith, because their daughters went to school together. That's right. Yeah. But yeah, he's kind of into interesting projects sometimes, right? So yeah, he was 21 when he was first in this. I'm sure it'll come up later again, but also like the scene with Johnny Depp there when all the blood flew out of the bed.
Oh, in the bed, yeah.
He was inspired by The Shining for the elevator blood scene, and I
have heard that.
That's basically what gave him the idea to do that thing where there's like gallons of fake blood flying out of something. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, that's an iconic scene in itself in The Shining, so that's really cool. And I think that's kind of the main things I came across here that I wanted to mention. This is, I think, they filmed this whole thing like within a month, they said. I don't have the fact up right now, but apparently that's what I read before. I don't know the exact days, but it was something like within a month's time that they filmed this. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, if there's other things that I remember or come up later on, I'll mention them as we go. But yeah, so there we go. Let's check in your stats. Some interesting facts I came across on the internet where they can be found, guys. If you look up, articles on interesting facts on films, there's always like a little bunch of these little tidbits and stuff like that, blurbs. Yeah, exactly. So, all right, let's go into favorite scene. Shall you want to start? Shall we? Christine, you want to start us off here?
Going off of what we were just talking about, but the Johnny Depp death scene is definitely a favorite. I had like immediately when I start thinking about this movie, like that's one of the biggest scenes that immediately pops into my head.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's for sure. That's him getting sucked into the bed, and then the
gallons of blood just coming up, and then just imagining your parents having to find that.
Yeah,
you would lose your friggin' mind.
Apparently, that was when they filmed that too. I think I was reading. Like at first, I thought maybe they just did it where they flipped it upside down, but they actually did put the set like that in order to like film it.
Right.
So they actually had like an upside down kind of set up for that actual scene to get the perspective. I wasn't.
That's why it looks so cheesy. Yeah.
And then in that scene, I'll just add a quote here too because it just is from that. When the cops are going up there and they have like the coroner and stuff, it's like, yeah, you don't need a stretcher up there. You need a mop.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I was like, that's a good. I like that.
Yeah. How about you, Jay?
I like that opening, just the opening scene when they're doing the credits, when they're getting you introduced to Krueger himself and what's going on, and you're watching him make his glove and all that stuff, and you're seeing him in the fire, like in the boiler room down there and stuff like that. So it's kind of, and just hearing that, creeping like scissors. I fucking hate that scissors noise, man. That's the fucking worst thing in the world. Like I can't, like when people, I would never even attempt to drag my hands, like my fingers on a chalkboard. Never. I would never even attempt to. You can put a gun to my head and I will not do it. I'd rather take the bullet, man. I'm telling you right now. It's So that scene has always stood out like as probably a very good introduction to a horror film, and maybe a character, and maybe beginning of a franchise. I would think, that actually, out of most stuff that I've seen in recent years, you know what I mean. That's just specific. It's only about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, I think, that whole, and they're just like little like pictures like we're on here, and little screens like we're on here, and just watching. You're not really seeing much, but it's just the music in the background, the cheesiness of the 80s writing on screen and stuff like that, when they're putting, that I don't know, for some reason that was a big thing that caught my attention when I first went to rewatch this again. Yep. Just because it brings you back to, this is 84, man. I mean, this is as old as my brother, this fucking film. Like, so it's kind of weird when you think about how old it is. I don't know, it's weird. But I don't know if you guys had issues too, but even on my screen, it was, I guess, converted to digital or whatever it is on Prime. It's got that was flickering a bit. Didn't matter if it was on my phone screen, my TV screen, nothing. It had this like weird flicker to it. I let you know it's still an old film.
I totally agree with you. I had that one written down too. I put fantastic intro. Just basically him adorning his gear, followed by the girl running down the hall that leads into the boiler room. It kind of really just set the tone for the film right from the get-go, right? The first few minutes of the film, and then that leads into her waking up nightmare. Yeah, exactly. But it really helps build tension and kind of throws you right into the
without
mix
without even knowing what's
going on. Yeah. And but like you said, just kind of like even just the shots of him just grabbing like the glove and putting that on, like you kind of don't really get the whole full picture, and you got to kind of piece it together. Yeah. So that jumped out at me as well upon this rewatch. And same with you, that scene you mentioned, of course, that's one of the iconic scenes. And then it's really that scene. The intro wasn't something I remember, but that was excellent. But the other one that's iconic that I feel for this film, that I love it every time I see it, is the hand coming out of the bathtub.
Oh, just because where it is, I think it's where it's strategically placed. I think honestly, I like it too, and I was thinking about that too, and why I liked it so much.
Right.
And I think just because it's the tease of that shot.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I honestly believe, for myself, I don't know if that's Nico's opinion.
No, I mean, obviously she's a younger girl. There's definitely some sort of, I'm sure there was some intention to make it like a little bit like, curvy, sexy, not sexy even, like, but like to tease.
Pervy.
Well, pervy in the sense that he is a perv, though,
I know,
right? So like that's what I mean. Like he kind of so I think it works really well in that sense. But not only that, just like her kind of looking over and then the hand come, like that's just a scary like honestly like visual. Yeah, honestly, like the hand just coming up out of the water and then just disappearing and then like coming up again. Yeah, like the whole
Nico's looking out, checking the water in his bath when he's in there,
nodding off or like looking like to the side and it kind of creeping out and then like going right, like when the mother or whatever calls her. I know, it kind of dips right back in the water. Honestly, it's an awesome scene. I love that a lot.
It was like perfect time. Like they didn't even rush it. It was like I'll pull it right back in. It was just perfect, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, it's just one of those things that it's like, it makes you want to double check the bath if you're having a bubble bath or something. Let's see what's underneath there.
I just don't think there's something that in a movie, and because of the fact that he's in their dreams, they're able to do all this crazy shit in these films. Like we've like I said, we've watched a bunch of the other ones too, and we've actually been watching them recently as well. I think we watched up to the 5th one recently. This past
you guys went off.
So we
forgot it's October.
That's right. And as the films go on, the ideas and what he actually does in them get crazier and crazier, right? If anything, this one, although it has a few iconic kill scenes and crazy shit happening in it, it's kind of tame, to be honest with you, compared to what happens in some of the other ones. Like this is why this is like, I think, a classic horror film, this one still, because while the other ones, they're trying to get even more and more inventive, especially when he starts to get like more jokey and more like he's not like that in this movie.
Where he does a couple more lines that they give him.
There's a couple, but not to the point like when he returns in the next film, or even the
Yeah.
third one, especially
third
the
one,
Dream
yeah.
Warriors one, which is the return of Wes Craven because he didn't do the second film because he didn't want to originally, and then he ended up. And at this point, he's done like a few installments of movies over the years, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's interesting to see him in this movie. And how that character itself has evolved, quite honestly, over time, I would say as well, right? But what else do you got for scenes?
The other one, so yeah, I had the tub scene, and then I have the Tina death as well at the
Right.
beginning.
Yeah. There you go. Of course, that's the one that goes all over the ceiling
And
and
he's
stuff
got
like that.
stretching arms. He comes out in the hall when he's just like, "Rrr," and then it just reminds me of All Hallows Eve, which is
But what would you do? Would you jump out the window if you were that guy, dude? Like, because do you think anybody's gonna fucking believe you? I'd be gone. Like him, I'd been out the window because that first it sounded like he was murdering her. Honestly, they were screaming and having a blast, and then next thing you know, she's fucking gutted all over the bed. And I'm thinking, what a climax that was, man. And that guy must have shit his pants. He must have.
They made fun of it, if you remember, in Scary Movie, where she's actually there. The ghost is having sex with her, and she goes on the ceiling. She goes.
Yeah, he jizzes on it. It sticks it to the ceiling. Yeah, I remember that one.
I think that's in reference to this scene, though, the way she ends up going up.
Oh, it has to be. Yeah.
Because I can't think of another horror film that did that. I mean, I know Exorcist, she was all over the place and stuff too, but not like this extent. Yeah, not to this extent. So yeah, that's the other big death scene, I think, right there with the Tina as well. Yeah, that one is really good as well. And the boyfriend doesn't know what the fuck's going on, right?
I'd just be stunned. Like, what the fuck? All of a sudden, your girlfriend is up on the ceiling, just held by nothing.
Yeah.
And just you're getting brutally murdered.
The thing that's crazy too is, like he says, like the slashes just appear out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like that's what's kind of freaky too, is because you can't even really see
what the threat is.
Yeah.
You can't attack it because it's not there technically.
I mean, I think out of all of the serial killers, like the slashers and the ones that we had mentioned, that original 3, let's say, like the big ones, he's the most deadly because you can't escape him in that sense. You have to sleep, you know what I mean? So the other ones, yeah, I
beg to differ.
You would say Jason's worst encounter? I mean, they're all bad. They're all gonna kill you.
I mean, I don't have a dream, man. I don't dream. I don't remember ever having dreams.
Do dream, you just don't know it,
right?
Yeah, but I don't remember even during these. I used to always think, yeah, these are gonna give me nightmares or some shit. The movie too as well, right?
Yeah, you know what, Arv? I think it wasn't Scary Movie 2. I think you're right. I was thinking of 2. I said 1. Yeah, I think he's right. I think it's Scary Movie 2. Maybe that happens, and that's probably 1. I knew it was in one of the Scary Movies, but I think you're right, Arv. I think it is 2.
Yeah, and not they're referencing that's the one where they're referencing the killer's the Scream guy, right, or whatever.
That's right. Yeah, which is also right. So
which is kind of weird. How that kind of worked out.
He's had a good career in terms of the horror stuff, right? So yeah, no, for sure. He did the original House on the Left prior to this, as well as
House on the Left is crazy, dude.
Yeah, he has that one, but the original one though, not the remake. He did that one prior to this, as well as what's the other big one that he did? We'll get into that later, but I'm blanking on it right now. There's another one that he did too, right before this one. It was this and
I gotta check his credit. Hold on, I'll check it for you.
He did The People Under the Stairs. He wrote that. I didn't know that. Oh, that's crazy. The Hills Have Eyes. That's it. The original Hills Have Eyes. Thank you. Yeah. That's so that one, that original, and the other one were prior to this one. Wow, that's pretty impressive. If you think
look at that, man. IMDb. I know.
That's pretty impressive that he already did those 2, which have also been remade at this point. And
People Next Door TV series.
Yeah,
he did a couple episodes.
That's pretty impressive. That's a pretty good resume. And then later in his career, you have Scream.
Yeah.
Which is probably his biggest success, I would say, right? I mean, it's got to be, right?
Yeah, he wrote Swamp Thing, everything, all that.
Between this and Scream, but I mean, I think Scream was bigger, to be honest with you. I know that in terms of legacy, maybe people look at this probably better than Scream, but I mean, I think that's honestly, if you look at just how big that franchise was, and
Yeah.
it's got a TV show. I think you got to
Well,
say
yeah.
Scream's bigger,
Yeah.
bigger at this point.
Oh, I think Nightmare on Elm Street died out after the 90s.
Right.
Really, at the end. I don't
Yeah,
think
they
it,
tried to
that
reboot it.
craze. Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah, because they started mixing them up. I think that was the thing. They started mixing guys like, let's go to outer space and fucking fight.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's pretty
Yeah, that's
impressive.
stupid.
Glass House on the left, Hills Have Eyes, and then that's before this. And yeah, Scream later in his career. So yeah,
He's
and
got
that's
so
just to
many
mention- There's
things.
all kinds of other stuff, but yeah,
Oh,
just to
yeah.
mention a few of the big ones, pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was the first one you said.
Yeah, and what's that?
The one that you were saying that the people, what it called, was the house, not the, what did you say, the one that
Last
from
House on the
72?
Left?
Yeah, that was one from 72.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first one, right?
He directed. Yeah,
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Like it is, because he did pretty good, and then he just stuck. He did these for a long time.
he didn't do all these though. He abandoned Nightmare. Like he's returned like in
Yeah, he's
over
done a
the years.
handful of them. And that's
Yeah, and sometimes he would just direct them. Sometimes
That's
he
what I say. He's just mostly direct them, right?
Yeah, he didn't direct all. No, he didn't direct most of them. He
Was
directed.
directed or written? I
three
mean,
of them, I think that's all he did.
I think he helped produce and write some of the other ones. Wes Craven's New Nightmare and this one are the only two that he's directed.
yeah. Eh?
Just
'Cause I
I
got-
think he wrote or produced the third one.
Well, I
Dream
think he
Warriors.
always has producer credits.
Yeah,
yeah. Always.
he helped out with the Dream Warriors one, but he didn't.
Yeah, we did read that.
Yeah, he was involved in that
Yeah.
one, but he not to this degree. This
No.
is the one that this and Wes Craven's
The
New
new one,
Nightmare.
yeah.
Those are the two that he's mostly involved with. So wrote.
It is
directed.
3.
Right.
Yeah, you're right, Kristen. Sorry.
Yeah,
Because
so-
I was looking at written credits. He has all of them. It looks like for written credits.
Okay, so the third one is definitely probably the next one I will watch if you enjoyed this one. The second one's a huge departure. That's like the Halloween 3 season of the witch of this series. If you get the reference, where they basically abandoned the idea. Like there's a guy in the film that basically starts becoming Freddy. Like he
Yeah,
starts
it's
like
weird.
transforming into him in the film.
It was so fucking weird.
Doesn't really have much to do with the
His
nightmare
origin or
aspect.
anything,
Yeah, and Wes Craven's not involved. So
The second one, like,
this was such a big hit for them. I think the New Line Cinema there, which I think was probably pretty new. I would hold.
yeah,
I think
they
at
just
that time.
wanted to try to make bank on it, and it just
So they were like, he's like, I don't want to be involved in another one. I only wanted to do this one. And then they're like, okay, we're gonna go off and make another one without you. So they did. It was not as good. And then he returns for the third one, Dream Warriors, and so does the main Nancy chick from
Yes.
this one. So she returns in the third film. The third one is kind of like the sequel to the first one, but in the future a little bit.
time jumps.
Yeah. So all the kids that are left from the actual Elm Street kids that are left still alive from the original of the parents from the original group, they're all in like a hospital for people that are
mental,
have
yeah.
Gone
sleep.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's called Dream Warriors, and they all kind of work together to take down Freddy, essentially. But that one's got some excellent kills in it. So, Arv, if you liked this, I would check out this one. And
the
then
graphics got better too. I think at that point.
yes, it did.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. After that, it's kind of
It's a
Up in the air.
yeah. So you got to be.
You have to be dedicated.
So I've never seen New Nightmare, but that one's weird because it's like I've never seen it. That's what I mean. I've never seen that one. I've heard that one's good, but it's like they're doing a documentary and they're all themselves,
Never
right?
Seen New Nightmare?
Never seen it. And
I
then
don't think I have either.
I've never seen that. That one's like it's kind of like they're all themselves, like the director and like don't they play themselves like Robert Englund's Robert Englund in that, and then there's like a Freddy I think that comes out of it, but they all like play themselves. It's like a semi-documentary style film, that one I've heard. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like when they
What
do
the
like a
fuck
faux
am I
documentary
thinking of?
type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, where they're pretending that the actors are
right. So I heard
they're
that
actually real people.
I heard that one's worth checking out. I think Robert Englund said that was one of his favorite. Wes Craven is totally directed and wrote that one. So like, I think that's worth checking
Oh,
out.
I'm mixing it up with the
Freddy's Dead,
um
which is the last one out of that original slate of films. The 2000.
no, the Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I was mixing it up with the 2010 one.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
No,
why.
that
No.
one's not that good. No.
That's why I was like, we saw that. I'm pretty
Yeah.
certain we saw that in
Of
theaters.
course, we've seen the 2010 one.
Yeah, okay.
So.
That's where I was getting myself confused.
Yeah,
You
so I would say
guys-
Dream Warriors is the next best one after this one. I would say if I had to pick, and then after that, it's slim pickings. I think for them. And New
A little bit,
Nightmare
yeah.
supposedly. I've never seen it, but apparently that one's good too.
I have watched that one.
Okay.
It is good.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you guys watch so many. I don't even know how many you guys keep up because I mean, every October is just Halloween, right? So I mean, I don't know how you guys keep track of all these
I don't.
ones you watch. You just remember somebody mentions it. Oh yeah, I did see that one.
Yeah.
Then you remember which one it is. Yeah, I hear you.
That again?
Yeah, I hear
What
you.
else you got for scenes there, Jay?
Well, I like the one where they bring in they drag in what's her name down into the like after Tina I guess was dead and there she's in that. I thought it was weird that the body bag at the school was kind of like see through, but it was kind of weird. I don't think they're usually that like that. Like I mean that I felt like a suit bag or whatever when you put your suit in. Yeah, but and then they're dragging her. He's dragging her down into the boiler room, right?
Yeah.
When he's cut open his chest and he's got the worms coming out, he's just showing it to her like and it's kind of like just brings you into that it's kind of giving you a little bit more of where the fuck did he come from, because at the beginning it doesn't give you much of a story on how it shows you okay I'm making a knives, but it doesn't tell you until about halfway through when you actually know the story behind why he is and how he became right. So I don't know, I think that was cool. I mean just the remember trying to be in school falling asleep and stuff like that, but not seeing anything crazy like that. That'd be awesome to watch, right? You can't see like that. But I any of the killing these murders scenes I seem to like in this one, just almost because it looks a little bit more realistic than watching the CGI, I would say. But
yeah, yeah, no, for sure. I would say my other favorite part upon this rewatch that I completely forgot about, honestly, and I just find it so funny now, is how she basically sets up like a Home Alone booby traps to catch Freddy and pull him out of the dream.
Dude, that tripped me out.
Bro, it's fucking Home Alone. I swear to you, Home Alone must have ripped this film off because
the gunpowder thing is so cool in the fucking light bulb. I didn't know that worked. I'm gonna have to do that.
Sledgehammer that comes through the door. What the hell?
You get electrocuted.
I was watching it and it was like the night before the crooks come, the way she's setting up all the booby traps. I was like, what's going on here? And I completely forgot about that scene. I was just and it's so weird just because, having seen
McAllister
in recent years, I'm just like, what the hell? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Nancy McAllister. Yeah, exactly. I was like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
You can't sit there and tell me that they didn't get this idea from this film.
There. Yeah, no.
I was like, I get it. Some of the booby traps and this kind of stuff isn't new.
But it was just the way they did it. It was here's my map.
And then
we're ready.
It was like a montage of her putting all the traps together. And all of a sudden, just seeing him run through them afterwards with the sledgehammer. He's with the sledgehammer. Jokes, man. Yeah, that was funny. So I really liked that whole sequence. Of scenes essentially of her putting all the weapons together and then him going through them all and getting hit. Yeah, that was fun. So definitely I really enjoyed that this time.
Where did she think of it? Just a split second. She had shotgun shells. She had fucking to open up. And how do you break a light bulb? I was thinking of that too. I'm like, how do you get the light bulb to have enough where you can just pour it in there? That was pretty smart idea. I'm wondering, that could actually work as long as you're not the person that turns or you forget to turn the switch off before you put the ball back in, right?
Right.
So
yeah, Arv brings up a good point about New Nightmare. Yeah, is a test to do meta movies a year before he did Scream. Yeah, so it definitely is meta. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard about that. That's kind of the interesting part about that film, right? I think it really worked for a lot of people at the time. It was something different, I guess, right? So it's a big departure from obviously these ones and the formula of these movies, right? So I think that was the last one that he did prior to the 2010 remake. I think that was the last one that they ended up doing, right? Because before that was Freddy's Dead, and then there's Freddy versus Jason, of course, if we're gonna count that. Yeah, so
I can't even remember if I watched the remake. Honestly, a 2010 remake,
it's not that good.
We had lost interest in
and the guy, it's the first film that Robert Englund doesn't play him. and
Ugh.
the guy that
Yeah. Oh,
played him
yeah. You know what? I think I did
is
see it.
Rorschach from Watchmen film. If you watch that, the guy who plays Rorschach in the Watchmen movie, if you
no,
haven't watched that, anyways, that's the actor that plays Freddy. But the way that his face
wounds
is
just look
melted,
like
they make it
Ugh.
they try to make it look more realistic, but in doing so, it actually looks worse. Like
Yeah.
his
it
face,
looks
like
so bad.
yeah, like so.
Like
they-
you really need to go over the top to get like a good.
yeah,
I don't know. Like
and he
it
wasn't
sucked.
funny like Robert Englund.
No.
It wasn't the same. And then they really leaned into the whole thing about him being a pervert in this one. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that they kind of made it more dark in the sense that it was always hinted at in the movies, but
Yeah.
they didn't really like do a deep dive into like this is what he
No,
was
and
doing
they
with children.
really
In
did.
this movie, it was more scary because of that. They're like, do you know what he was doing with like constantly throughout the film with what he
Ugh.
was doing with the children? Like, you know what I mean? Like what, like because he
In the
worked at
boiler
the
rooms?
school and
Yeah.
everything, right? So that was the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, and I didn't really love it, honestly. Quite honestly, yeah, it wasn't that great. So
No,
you know, listen, they made a choice.
they did.
You
And
know,
now they need to erase that and do it again.
It's scary for other reasons entirely. That one. Yeah, it was disappointing. Like you could see, even if you look at some of the shots in the scenario, and it's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember they tried to recreate some of the scenes, like kind of in the new one, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
I can imagine.
Yeah, like there was certain stuff that they kind of tried to like I do in that film. I think that they've done in already different movies, but like obviously with better graphics.
Yeah,
Probably at
the
this
graphics
point,
were
right?
better, but
And
it
effects,
just looks
let's
so
say.
bad.
Yeah. So, okay. You have anything else in terms
No,
of
that
scenes?
was all my scenes.
The only other one I wrote down here that we haven't really touched on as of yet was the scene, I guess, where she finally tells the daughter, the mother, how they killed Fred Krueger.
Oh,
like,
right.
That I think it's more of an important scene, not so much like a great scene. Like the actress was okay, like that was playing her mother, but like so it is what it is.
It's integral to the movie.
That's what I mean. But it is interesting finally to kind of hear that part, because that is the biggest important piece of this film of why
it's like 2/3 into the movie.
That's right. Yeah. It is quite a while. You don't really know who this guy is, why this is going on for the first bit of the movie. But of course, if you watch any of the other films, you know that that's the whole point, is that he gets into their lives to try to scare them so they can talk about him, and then he grows stronger from word of mouth. Right. So like that's kind of like his whole shtick essentially. Right. So it's important. It's an important scene of the film, I would say.
Oh, totally.
Anything else for you, Jay?
I was gonna add a little bit to that beginning of the one we had talked about, the Johnny Depp scene, but when she answers the phone and there's the broken phone on her bed, right?
Yeah.
Now that's fucking creepy. That fucking that phone. Oh my god. Bro, first of all, why would you go pick up a phone that you just ripped out of the wall? Like, I mean, it's not plugged in. Like, common sense. You must be dreaming.
Yeah, the Simpsons groundskeeper Willie, Freddy Krueger joke. Nice.
Oh man, but yeah, no, that was. I just thought that was. I mean, they try with the graphics. Like, I like how you can see how they put it all together and stuff.
But
and how
it's like a real tangible thing. It's not just CGI.
Yeah, it's not CGI. Yeah. That's what I mean. CGI might have made it look more cooler, but this kind of was like, I can actually have one of these phones if I want.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Owns that prop.
Yeah. So there's a fun fact that I came across while looking stuff up. Actually, you guys just reminded me. You know the scene where she's running up the stairs and her feet are sinking into the stairs? It's like a combination of like breakfast, like pancake batter and some other stuff apparently.
I was gonna say it looked like
this is real movie making effects type stuff. That's what I mean. Like
back
that's
in the day, they would use like Rice Krispies and stuff like that to make like, especially like for like gross vomit or something. They would utilize all this random shit to create texture, and it's just.
Could you imagine what they had to do to use it, and just look the shine on his face and make that like gooiness and like that liquid, But I mean, it just looks surreal in that sense. You know what I mean?
This is one of those things where they had to spend like 3 to 4 hours in the chair apparently before they did it, like every day. Like
I would have thought probably even longer at points. Fuck, man, it'd be like 3 days of shooting just because you don't want to take the makeup off. 3 days straight. Talk about no sleep and no dreams, right?
Yeah.
So like shit like that, like while I'm sure it may come out later, because some of these things you see them like in some of the effects, and it's like clearly a mannequin, and certain there's like, or they're like one of those.
dolls.
They obviously took a bunch of shots of something to make like the scratches across things like dolls and stuff like that, and like edited together and stuff like that. Like I don't know how all that stuff works exactly, but like you could see how they put some of these shots together, like how like it kind of loses it sometimes for me.
Yeah.
Like
Now that you're older,
but it's cool still to see that they used to make that like the effects
Yeah.
like
tried.
I mean,
It's like
that's-
stop motion.
exactly.
Like there's a good like foundation to it that you can just
yeah,
actually see.
that's man-made.
I feel it's
That's
more like
something.
it's
Yeah.
more artsy. It's more
Yes.
like real art.
Having like a
Yes.
fucking green screen every time, or like some crazy CGI shit happening behind you, or
That's why people are into this new Terrifier film, because the guy who directed it is a FX like makeup dude as well. Like so he's into all like the old school like. So if you watch that film, it's not that it's a cheesy movie, but all of the kills in it like are actually again him doing like old school, like not CGI
old
like
school
stuff.
effects. Yeah.
Old school effects with the actual kills that he's actually applying all this FX makeup and everything else that they're doing, right? So that's that's
cool.
Yeah, like legit props and everything.
yeah. So it's interesting to see, right? Like I think it does.
It's wholesome.
It's just no.
Maybe that's why people were throwing up, because they're not used to that. They're used to seeing CGI, and then this looks real, and they're like, oh
Yeah.
fuck. Like I gotta check this out now. I want to see what kind of fucking stomach
check it out.
shit it does.
Terrifier.
really.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah, it's
That's the
fun.
one with the clown with the weird little
Yes,
fucking
Art
thing,
clown,
right?
yeah,
The clown.
black and white.
And,
clown.
and he walks around with the fucking dirty
Garbage
trash
bag.
bag.
Yeah. I seen the first one, bro. I remember the
You gotta watch
first
the
one.
second one. It's out on your favorite site over there. Yeah, you got to check it out. It's good. We went to some theaters last week. It's only playing in one theater in Toronto right now.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is it playing only at the one that you go to, or
Carlton. No, it wasn't even the one that we normally go to. It's the one.
no?
on
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's
Small
crazy.
theater, small
Tiny.
theater. Yeah, small theater. So yeah, if you want to watch it, yeah.
I don't know how long it's gonna stay in there though.
Yeah. So interesting stuff.
Yeah, people are puking all over the seats.
No one pukes.
There was actually a collapse at the end of the film. It's pretty
Yeah.
crazy to see it with like a group of people that actually wanted. It's not like a popular film in the sense like it's opening
No,
across
it's not
all
gonna be
theater.
like
Yeah,
blockbuster.
yeah.
Right, but it was a packed room of people that obviously were fans of the first film, right? So it's cool to see. Like, I can't remember the last time I went to see a movie and people have clapped at the end.
Yeah.
It was funny. Yeah, it was just like
Wow,
a whole bunch of them
Yeah.
because some people just eat that horror shit up. They love
Oh,
it,
yeah, it's a
right?
cult
So
thing.
yeah, it's a cult classic type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it just seems like you said. It probably seems more artsy, more like they put work and effort into it. If it
Yeah.
makes it look more,
Yeah.
the makeup effects, like
Yeah,
it takes time, man. You got to know what you're doing. You got to it's not anybody could just, even I could pop and click stuff on a screen, not for anything, and make it look like there's something there. But I mean, to put makeup on somebody's face, never ain't gonna happen with me, bro. You want to look scary and want to throw up? Yeah, let me do some makeup on your face, really.
Yeah, because I think like once you get to even the third film in this series, like Dream Warriors, there was like some sequences I think that were somewhat animated. Like that
I think
that
yeah.
scene with the marionette thing that
Yeah.
kind of looked animated at times. Like
It,
it
might have thrown some in. I'm not 100%.
I don't know if
sure,
it was
though.
like fully animated, but there was some sort of weird, like I don't know if it was
Different
stop
technology,
motion
yeah.
or what the hell it was. Yeah, it was weird, right? So, anyways,
Stop motion is crazy. I know.
yeah. So I think we'll move on now to quotes. Favorite quotes. What do you got?
The lullaby.
Scenes.
Yeah.
1, 2, Fred, come
course.
for you.
Oh, that's good. That's a given, right?
Yeah.
The one that you couldn't find.
Yeah.
The song. Well, you know what? It actually has I just looked on the IMDb, and it actually has a soundtrack here. It does, to the end of it, right? I was just looking at the.
Yeah, I pulled up the soundtrack too, though, but I couldn't find that
That specific
it,
lullaby
or at least
song?
the title isn't like lullaby or something, right? So
Yeah.
I didn't know which song it was, so I kind of just threw on one of the ominous
sounds?
music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
works.
Anyways,
But yeah, that's obviously a classic.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I woke up with this morning?
the hard on. Yeah.
I woke up with I woke up with a boner.
Yeah.
It has your name on it. Eh?
Yeah.
Only 4 letters, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, you get the whole thing. We have to finish it off. You already know, right? Because
Yeah.
the girl's name's Tina, right? And yours is Nico. So I thought, 4 letters.
There you go.
You
That was a good
could have played that line. How can you wake up with a boner with my name on it?
It's so funny. I started writing down that quote because I did find it funny that the guy said it in this film, and I'm like, you know what? Jay's gonna have that
Jay's
one.
gonna have that one.
I literally stopped writing it. It's the first quote. I'm not joking around,
The
guys.
first
It's
line, really?
the first line out of this fucking guy's mouth
Yeah.
is that quote. I knew it. Jay always puts down the
Jay's
most like
predictable.
perverted kind of fucking quotes from a film that stick out to him.
We'll see why I don't have my opinions at the end of the film. What about it?
You're too predictable. That's all I'm gonna
Oh,
say.
come on, man. I mean, it like really, they named me after it. Like fuck.
So I did I write this down wrong? Because the one that I have down here first then is when Freddy says, "This is God." Did you see "This is God" or "I am God"? Like, what is it? I think it's "This is God." Where it's like
When?
This is
The
God.
part-
It says.
"This is God." Okay, that's
Yeah,
what I
this.
thought.
And
Like,
then there's this ... is God.
is God.
Yeah,
It's
that
when
was
he's
it.
like trying to come down on in the I think it's Tina, I think, when he's
Yeah.
facing her.
Okay.
I
And
think it's the first dream.
No, in the alleyway.
because I think she's like, please God or oh God or something.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's like,
yeah, yeah.
This is
Is
God.
God. Yes.
Yeah. That's that was the
It took
first
me
one
a
I wrote
second to
down.
realize.
I just wanted to make sure I wrote it down right because I was reading it here and I'm like, this is God, I think is what I wrote here. So yeah, that one was pretty cool.
Yeah.
How he delivered it. And as I mentioned, like it's weird because Freddy's voice is deeper in this film than the other ones I found.
Yeah.
Like it's more,
I think he put it on a lot for the original,
Yeah.
and then it just is what it is.
it's much more deeper and ominous
Yeah.
it's sounding in this film compared to after because it's a little bit higher pitched, I feel, as you go on, and he actually has more fun with it. Like he
Well,
kind
that's what
of
I mean,
really
he's
gets
probably
into
really trying to be like extra edgy and
yeah,
stuff like that
like
in this one.
he's not as funny in this one. He's more scary in
Yeah.
this one. I would say that as
and
it
then
is
he
the
gets
movies.
quippy later on.
Yeah, and also like the makeup, like it's a little different in his face compared to the other films. Like I feel like his eyes, like I don't know if like there's like more skin, like there's something with the eyes is different in this. If you look at, mind you, there's some scenes where you could tell like they were they were messing with the mask, and then sometimes
Yeah.
I know it wasn't him. Like for instance,
Yeah.
there's
he
that
has a lot of
there's a scene there at the end where he catches on fire and it's clearly a guy in a fat suit. It's a stunt guy in like a fire suit, and all of a sudden he looks 3 times fatter. Right? you know
He's
the
like
part
running
of
up the stairs.
he's
Like,
running up the stairs and
Yeah.
he's just like some guy in like one of those fire suits and he's like 3 times the size, but he's wearing this sweater.
Yeah,
And I'm like, come on, man. Like, is that
it
that
looks
really,
really silly.
that looks really silly. But I get it. They had to do it. They actually lit
Obviously.
somebody on
No,
fire.
I know,
Like
I
that's
know.
that's what's cool about it. Again, they actually made those effects,
Yeah.
but to do so,
You had a stunt person.
you got to stretch
protecting
you got to
themselves.
stretch the imagination a little
Yeah.
bit. You're like, clearly that's not him.
Yeah. Don't look too hard.
No,
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
you're right about the eye thing. I think it's just the way they put that makeup on. I think it's just the way it tends to sit. I think
Yeah.
instead
Well,
of having
they had
like
to block out his eyebrows to put it on. So
Yeah.
like it's
like instead of like an actual pullover, like something that they would pull over that was already created too, like in a sense where you have like that skin suit where it makes it look bald over here too. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It just you could see the whole outline of the eye socket, which is
Well,
like
yeah, because they
kind of
put
still look
that
normal.
here.
Yeah,
And they have to block out the eyebrows, so like your eye sinks in more. Because
and it's
you're
hard
outside.
to
Well, you're
put
not-
like scars.
Yeah, no, you're not doing that to their eyeballs.
No, on the lid too, because you're
Yeah.
opening and closing it. It's fucking gonna be hard, right? It's gonna be
No.
moving and sliding all over the place in your eyes. I don't know. I don't wear makeup, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works, right?
I wrote this one down too, Michelle. Yeah, this is when he's chasing her. Is this when his arms go all crazy? What are you saying? Oh no, it's when he's
that's
in the school.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's got that's right. You're
Yeah,
right.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Weird, yeah.
Running in the hallways in an alley.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what I had wrote it down, but I couldn't remember what scene it
What
was.
part it
Yeah,
was,
you're
yeah.
right. It was when it was in the school. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Tina that was in the school at that point
Nancy.
too. Was it Nancy or was it Tina?
His teen had already died.
Okay, yeah, because she was up on the ceiling
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that was good too. What else do you have?
I think I don't have this 100% correct, but when Johnny Depp goes out after, like in the alleyway, and he hears somebody, whatever, he's like, "I'm gonna punch out who was there." And then he's like, "Kitty, kitty." Chow chow.
Yeah, that one fucked me up. That was for the Purina commercial.
That.
That reminded me of that Purina commercial. Remember with the cat?
I'm like, I understand. Okay, here, kitty, kitty. But then it was like, chow chow. I'm like, what the fuck
Perfect.
is chow chow?
Oh, there we go. Getting these guys in.
All right. XYZ.
Yeah. Let me just take care of this.
ABC.
See you later. All right.
I'll hit you up next time.
That's right. Well, not on this show, man. My girlfriend.
Save it for Sunday.
I got this one here too, where he's like, "Come to Freddy," and he does the tongue action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jay, that was his next one. So there you go.
No, that wasn't. I know what you mean.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, but that wasn't the next one. I still like Rod's, man. Rod's got the best fucking one-liners, bro. In this fucking up yours with a twirling lawnmower, bro. Like,
Oh yeah.
who the fuck says that?
I know. I mean, even for
Like, I had to go back and say, did it say twirling?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I made a mental note of that one. I was like, what in the fuck?
I know.
I put the caption on because I wanted to see if that's what it said. Yeah. Stupid one-liners, but they're
even for
good.
the 80s, I'm like, what the hell?
Oh
Who
my
says
God.
that?
Yeah, that's so 80s, like teenage. That's what Rob would have probably said when he was, instead of watching this movie, he would have probably been, when telling people off down the street, "Hey, up yours with a twirling lawnmower." Right? Like that's what they would say. Can you picture him saying that? Like he's like it's got 10 years on us. So yeah, I could picture him saying that, man. Like, just get with that, I could see it. Watch, let's see if I get a comment from the
Nancy going, "Oh my God, I look 20
Yeah.
years old."
I got that one too. So stupid. I'm like, oh my God, 20.
Holy 20. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that was a good one.
I got of course, whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Of course.
Yeah, and that's a classic line. Of course, that's from the speech where she's on the phone with Johnny Depp there, his character.
Yeah. And then he immediately fucking falls
That's
asleep.
right. Yeah.
He didn't even fucking try.
He puts the headphones on. That's it. Got
He's got a TV on his lap,
Yeah.
it.
listening to records. I'm like, what is happening right now?
Which is
Well, I got Glenn is his name. Yeah. No, but I got a good one for that one because that's when his mom there was one part when his mom walks in and he's got the headphones on. He's
What are you
listening to the
doing?
TV and he's
I'm
going,
not listening to
"Oh, Miss Nude America's gonna be on tonight."
Yeah.
Hey, how can you hear what she says? And he says, "Who cares what she says?" It's I don't know. I can't picture myself at that age even saying, "Hey, Mom, I'm gonna watch Miss Nude America." I'm in high school, Hey, I'm gonna watch Miss Nude America. I mean, I don't know. I could probably see me getting. I could say it now. I don't have a problem. But saying it as
Right.
like 17, I don't know if I would have said it to my mom, right?
Seems really awkward. Yeah.
Yeah. But Johnny Depp, you know what I mean? That's just Johnny Depp for you, right? He gets away with that kind of shit.
I also got this where he's like, "I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy."
Yeah.
That's why he tongues the phone.
Yeah. But bro, I had seen it. I was just looking at a picture of it, man. And I mean, I gotta share this picture, bro. With you. Like here, just
share it.
All right, hold on. Where's
That's right, Arv. She might appear in one of her categories soon, so stay tuned. That's very true. I'm glad you have a good eye for that. She plays a creepy lady in a lot of things.
Everything.
Not just
Everything.
Insidious. She plays a creepy lady in a lot of
Oh my
things.
God,
So
yeah.
Jay, did you share it or what?
It's coming.
Oh, there we go.
That right there is a creepy
Look at that, man. Look at that. That's awesome.
Jay's gonna look
Look at
online for the
that.
phone now. He's like, I want a phone like that.
Straight up. Look at that. That's so cool. It's like they put like
Ah.
a little condom over the phone, and look, she's actually got her tongue out like she's gonna make out with it.
Why is her tongue out?
Because that's probably
No, they probably just took that shot on that.
I
It's
know,
probably
I
they
know.
joking around. This is during the time too where like I was reading that they went for Thai food during nearby during like one of the breaks or something, I guess on the set.
yeah.
And of course he's still in his makeup because he has to take all
Can't
that
take
shit
it
off.
off.
And they went to eat. So fucking Robert Englund went inside this Thai food restaurant apparently, and the waiter or waitress or whatever that was there like dropped their fucking plate of their tray of food when they saw him and ran away. Like they got scared
I
when he
mean,
walked
fair.
in.
You've never seen this before.
Right.
It's not like it was a thing yet.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll try to hurry up, Farhan. Yeah. That's a famous line that I said one time as a joke. Brian has adopted it now. He likes to say it. He has about 5 different things he says in the chat.
I haven't asked. He hasn't asked me about Tim Hortons yet, so we're good.
Yeah, JT's coffee. Yeah, that's the other one.
See, look, it's been so long, and I still know the formula.
Yeah, there you go.
No, there you go.
Yeah, go for it.
I got when Nancy's talking to Johnny Depp, and he goes, "I grabbed the guy in my dream. You see me struggling, so you wake me up, and we both come out. You whack the fucker, and we got him."
Yeah. That is a good one. Yeah, you just like Johnny Depp.
It's not even his line.
I know, but you just like all the scenes with Johnny Depp. I'm saying he was in that scene.
You know, at first, I didn't even realize it was him at the first scene.
Really?
I didn't even recognize it was him. That's how young it was, bro. It just threw me off for a second. It took me a second, honest to God.
Like Johnny Depp there. Come on.
I know, but honestly, it took me a second. Like I seen that he was in the movie. I seen the credits. I know the credits and all that, but I mean, for a second there, he's too pretty boy. I just didn't think like he's gotta be fucking a teenager in that one, really.
He is.
21 years old. I said it earlier. He was 21 years old.
But I mean, like he looks younger. Like he looks like 21, but like
everyone in the fucking 80s looked like they were 2.
he's like my brother. Like he's almost 40, but he looks 20. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shit, which is kind of weird, right?
You want to hear something funny? Now, I don't know if this is true, but this is another quick fact that I came across. Now, when it comes to casting rumors, these are usually 50-50 sometimes when you read these things on the internet. You got to really ask the people involved. But apparently, I mean, the timeline's correct. You know who was originally up for for Johnny Depp's role of Glenn? Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Right?
I could see that, but I mean, I'm happy.
That was a trivia thing.
But yeah, like he had the same type of pretty boy.
I wouldn't have minded if it was Charlie Sheen, to be honest with you, at this period. I think that would have been fine.
He would have been it. One was Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Was 80s?
That was the leader in the 80s,
was
though.
It?
Yeah.
Okay.
89?
I think it's 87, 88.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of like that type of character, but he was more the bad guy.
But apparently they couldn't afford his $3,000 a week fee.
Oh shit!
So that's what he was asking for at that time. Because wasn't Young when was Young Guns and stuff like? Wasn't he in that, or is that the other one? Emilio Estevez is in that, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think that's the 90s.
Yeah,
after like Men at Work and all that. Well, just before Charlie Sheen stuff.
He's in a lot of things around this time, isn't him and Emilio were in a lot of things together actually too around this period of time. I mean, I'm not going to pull up his IMDb right now, but yeah, he was originally cast.
No, I know he was in.
I think they're all around the same age too.
You know what? I'm curious. Hold on a second.
I think they're all in and around the same age too. If you look like, because I mean, obviously
the time period's correct. Yeah, I think
let's seem to be right.
Okay, let's see what he did instead of this then that year. If he was doing films, he was doing a lot of movies at this time, right? So let's see. Filmography, 1982. Okay, so his first thing in the show uncredited is 1973. Then it was 1974, then nothing to 1983. Grizzly 2, The Predator. So it looks like he was doing horrors at that time. So in 1983, then Red Dawn.
Sound like anything crazy.
Red Dawn.
Not enough to be like, I need
to have
you're
right.
This much money.
The first thing that I've seen out of his IMDb is what you said was that Ferris Bueller, 1986, 86. So it wasn't.
Yeah, it was right after.
So a few years, 2 years later.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
The same age. There you go.
And then Platoon, that's the other big one. Platoon, I forgot about that.
But that
and
wasn't
then Wall
before,
Street.
So.
Oh, see, he was in Young Guns. This is 88, though.
Who are you talking about now at this time?
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen. Yeah. Him and
Emilio. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so there you go.
They did Men at Work, and aren't they brothers?
They are, yeah.
So
Estevez just changed his last name because he didn't want to be known as a Sheen.
You don't want to be known as a Sheen. There's too much shit that falls around that fucking name.
Exactly. That's why he did it, right? So wanted to make it on his own.
With their old man,
himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I think that's it for quotes, unless you got anything else, Jay.
Hey, what's going on in here? An orgy or something? I have to say the good ones, bro. Yeah. I was waiting for you guys to play it out, like, I mean, the Jungle Man. I was waiting for Christina to say to Nico, Jungle Man, fixed chain.
All right, let's pass it around.
It's cosplay. That's another one in there. I like Rod, man.
Christine started the last two. Why don't you start this one, Jay? Who was your favorite performer in this film? Favorite performance?
Oh, my you know what? I like Freddie's performance just for him being when he's in the Robert Englund. I mean, I just like his character. I don't know. It's his face. I don't know if it's not Freddy. It's just his mannerisms that he could pull off with this fucking character. Because you would think that like, what the fuck? He's supposed to be a horror movie guy, like a horror, like a scary guy and shit. But he's got these sort of funny sort of mannerisms and goofiness to him, right? So it's kind of corny, and it plays well into that pervert role, I think.
And the dream aspect,
especially when he does the fucking walk and that whole gunslinger walk.
Yeah.
So again, when I was
There's
looking,
another note. Yeah, say it was on my trivia thing. I just remember I didn't write it down.
He apparently
took it from something.
He was trying to base his performance on Nosferatu, the film Nosferatu, the guy who played him in like that older Nosferatu movie. The way he moved around, that's kind of where he apparently got the idea for like the slinking and the way that he kind of like, I mean, like I've never.
But he also added that wobble to himself, like that, like, sort of, you know, like that, like almost like a clown aspect to it in a sense, really, to make it seem like, you know, not too scary, but let's throw a little bit of, maybe it'll make you laugh in the middle of scary, maybe shit in your pants.
That scene's awesome too, which you didn't mention though, with the long ass arms.
I did mention it.
Did you mention the long ass arms? Okay, yeah,
Freddy that's with his stretchy arms.
Right.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's when he kills Tina.
He's like, when he does like the
that thing, bro. That dance.
In the second movie, that's the only good part about the second movie. There's a weird like scene where he's like at a pool party and there's like a million parents around. Like
my God, yeah.
There's like a bunch of adults all of a sudden and like a whole neighborhood full of kids in the second film. Okay. It's really the only good part I really felt like in the film. But so they're at one side of the pool and he's at the other side, bro, and he does one of those shuffles. He's like, everyone like runs to the other side of the pool.
Bro, I mean, if some creepy dude came up to you like that at a pool and started doing that, could you picture me just going like that at a pool?
Yeah.
No, you can picture that, but wouldn't you fucking run the other way?
Does the shuffle though, right? He's like, even this one, right? When he appears in Nancy's room,
he's got that sort of like where he's got his legs buckled, like, you know, like, and he's got that sort of that posture. He does it probably. He does it weird. He's got it
happening.
Yeah, bow-legged. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, exactly, bow-legged. Yeah, no, it kind of does give you. It does make it creepy in a sense.
Yeah,
I mean, it tries to make you get an aspect of he's bigger than he really is, and I'm more scarier than I really am. But it's actually giving you some funny. Yeah, I know he isn't. Right.
Yeah. So that's what kind of makes him this character. I think as it goes on, he becomes more and more fun with it and funny. Right. Like this one, I think is definitely. It's the more like serious, scarier version of him. Not that he's not as it goes on, but like but yeah, I agree with you, Jay. I also wrote down Robert Englund. It's undeniable. You too, yeah, undeniable, undeniable. I mean, this is a character that's
this
like
this movie, man.
Well, it's this character is gonna live on past. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna be known for this. Yeah. So this is This is
his legacy.
And the rest of the acting, to be honest, in the film isn't that great for the most part, right? So I mean, like it is what it is. It's a horror. Right? So I mean.
80s horror films, there's not supposed to be good acting.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
so, but yeah, he's definitely the best favorite performer for all three of us. There you go, across the board. Yeah, I knew it was going to be for you too. I figured. Yeah. So, okay, so moving on. Favorite cameo. I'll start this one and then over to Christine. So I had another answer for this, but then it became my That Guy award. So I gave it to, now let me know if you guys don't feel this is fair, but I actually gave it to the father because I don't think he had a lot of screen time in this film. He was,
it's so funny. I actually put that down too.
Yeah,
I was gonna put one or the other, and I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so I just don't feel if you add up his total screen time, even though he was in a couple of scenes, I don't feel it was all that much. And this guy was from mostly known from Enter the Dragon, previous the Bruce Lee movie, right? John Saxon. Yeah, so I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna throw it out to him. But I mean, I in terms of cameos, there's not many in this film. I just don't feel he had a lot of screen time, and I thought when he was on screen, he did a really good job. So I'm gonna give it to him for favorite cameo. I think he was mostly well known for other things outside of this movie. Like he was one of the more well known, I think, people going into this film at that time. So I'm gonna give it to him for favorite cameo for this film, just because I don't really have too many other.
No, I was thinking of the other guy. I'm not thinking of that guy. I was thinking of
who was that?
Because he was actually going to be that guy. That's what it was. I mixed two of them up. Somebody else's father. because
But I could also put this guy as that guy though too as well, because I've seen him before, right? This is the father. But anyways, he's actually also he
just couldn't
reappears in the
remember.
third film, and he has a bigger role, I think, in the third film. At least of his importance, I think, to the story. He doesn't do too much, but he's in the third movie. He comes back and reprises his role as Nancy's father, the cop in the Dream Warriors as well, right? So, and then he gets beat up by a skeleton Freddy.
Yeah,
He gets beat up by a skeleton version of Freddy in the third film. Yeah. That's him. He gets beat up by a skeleton in the third film. So if you guys want to watch that, that's
quite fun.
You get to watch that. It was pretty fun. Yeah, they dig up Freddy's remains in the third film he uncovers them because they want to bury it so he can be put to rest and hopefully he'll leave the kids alone if that happens, right? That's kind of the plot towards the end of the third film.
Mhm.
And spoilers, and he and basically Freddy somehow resurrects himself as the skeleton, like he comes out of a dream and becomes the skeleton, and then he starts fighting him. And it's like, again, like the graphics are kind of like what they are, but it's pretty funny. So yeah, if you want to see him get beat up as a skeleton, watch Dream Warriors.
Watch Dream.
Yeah. So I'll give it to him. Christine.
I have Lynn Shay, which is the Insidious woman.
Yes.
Who played the teacher in this one.
That's right.
As soon as I saw her, I was like, oh yeah.
That was my other candidate for this one. Yes. Yeah. So for sure. Yeah.
So as soon as I saw her, I was like, fuck yeah. I never know her name though.
Yeah. So Lynn Shay, who actually apparently the person I think that owned that started New Line or something, she was related to them or something. That's how she got in this movie.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's what I was reading. I think it's either New Line or this. Because that was the studio for this one, so I think that's what it was. I think the studio head or something of this film I had read, Lynn Shay was related to. But when Jay goes ahead, I'm gonna fact check that one because I believe that's the case, which I found really interesting. That's why she was in this movie. Of course, if you seen her in other films, especially Insidious, she went on to do lots of horror stuff from here.
She's in so many horror things.
Yeah. So, Jay,
for the cameo still, right?
Yeah.
I you know what? This guy, like I said, he could fall in two of my categories, like I was saying with you, because I have him as that guy as well, because I knew I recognized him from somewhere, but I think I got to give him to a cameo because he does a good job of that way, and I got somebody else for that guy as well. But yeah, no, he played because what caught my eye too about him as his cameo, like his hair looked pure fucking dyed, or it wasn't the right color or something like that. Or as I feel like I seen him too also in like stuff like when I was growing up with my mom, and he was in like 80s fucking what are those called, soap operas.
Okay.
Like I always felt like he popped in on those kind of shows, and he always had little roles here and there too.
Yeah.
Did you say who you're talking about?
Yeah, the one I picked.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm missing something.
Sorry.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I got thrown off there by because I just kind of tagged along there. But that's what happened to me. It threw me off there. Sorry.
Okay.
But yeah. So I had like I said, I had two of them I had thought of, but I guess we can go with the same one because I know now that I'm looking at the thing, I can see where else I see them from too. Right. Now that I just seen this thing. Because I don't actually like look up their IMDb until the day. Like I write it down, but I don't actually look it up to see what's what they've also been into as well. But this one was a good. Yeah, he had to be part of the film, so it had to make he made a good part of it, right? So he wasn't, like you said, not too much, not too much screen time, right?
Yeah,
just enough to keep him under. I think into a cameo, like you were saying, we were debating. So.
Right. What's going on, Goat? Thanks for tuning in. No worries. Thanks for tuning in as always. Yeah. Okay. No, that's a good one. I like that. So yeah, I was right. Robert Shea is part of New Line Cinema, the people that produced this one. So that's the connection there.
Okay.
Shea and her older brother is the founder of New Line Cinema.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Did not know that.
Okay, so next up we got, this is to Christine, overacting award. Lots of candidates for this one, you could say.
But I have to go with Heather Langenkamp, which is Nancy.
That's right.
I had to go with her. She's so over the top and just, it's like Why don't you listen to me?
I'm just gonna jump in and say I also picked her, and for my part was the part where she was like, I wrote it down. Hold on, she wrote down, "Where are you, Kruger?
Yeah.
Where are you? Where are you, Kruger?" And I was like, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Like, all right,
When she has 30 seconds.
yeah.
Bringing that up later, but
Yeah, so there you
Oh,
go. There's
boy.
the overacting award for me also
Yeah.
definitely goes to her, Nancy. Nancy and her
Nancy Thompson, who is Heather Langenkamp.
right, a weird last name. Yeah,
I know. Sounds like
a
a Swiss chocolate.
yeah. Maybe she's Swiss.
Maybe she's chocolate.
Yeah. Oh, Michelle says Nancy's mom.
Oh fuck yeah.
She's also bad. Yeah, or overacting for sure.
Yeah.
Nancy.
Oh, Marge.
I say she's overacting. She's just a shitty actress.
Yeah, Nancy's bad.
Although
But Marge.
Nancy, that actress, is still known as being
Doing
one of the
things.
bigger screen queens in terms of
She is, yeah.
It's
That,
like,
that, that last name.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a new show on
Oh,
Netflix.
I haven't
That's
watched
right.
it yet.
I haven't
He was
watched that.
telling me about it.
She's still acting to this day. I did look up her IMDb, and she is in this most recent Netflix thing. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
that's why she's actually first on the list when you say top cast right now, because she's the latest one to come out with a film.
And then that's right. And then when you go on IMDb, they usually give you the first 4 films that they're known for,
Yeah.
like in terms of
Yeah.
popularity
Yeah.
online, and that one's part of the 4 right
Oh,
now.
wow.
Yeah, that's already that's already up there in the top 4 for
Sure, because I think
the rest of them are from the 80s. It looks like.
not only that, I think everything else is if either her reprising her role in one of the other films or like or something that's related to it. Like they seen this and they're like, oh, I have a horror film. We got to put her in there for a moment, right? It's like
yeah.
a lot of these people, a lot of these horror film
They do
people,
cameos.
they continue to get work even if they're not like big actors as
Yeah.
their careers go on, because you always have other horror fans that want to put them in their movies, even if they're low budget piece of shit films.
There's always something.
There's always something, and then they go to the cons and everything
Yeah, oh,
else,
yeah.
right? Everyone loves that, eats that shit up.
Or you
People
go to
are
those
like,
voice things too, those voiceover things and stuff.
Oh, look, there's that guy who got killed in fucking Nightmare on Elm Street 3. He was in it for 2 seconds. And I just go get his autograph.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's like those guys, like, you would get from like sitcoms like Cheers and stuff, and they disappeared, and all of a sudden they'd be like the potato head on fucking Toy
Yeah.
Story. You know what I mean? Like out of nowhere, because they're just not made for television anymore. So you just be a voice actor, right? At that point of your career, right? So,
Right.
but no, you're right. It works. So that, but overacting. I mean, for me, I'll be honest with you guys. Overacting is anything 80s horror. I think when it comes to the besides, like, I even thought to a point if Freddy overacted in a bit where he does that fucking shit. I always thought, sometimes I think that's overacting.
That's fair.
You actually have to perform in a certain way, right, to do these types of films because of the no CGI, and it's more like we said, artsy and stuff like that. So overacting is almost part of it. It gets that adrenaline rush going. It's
And once
for
you
everybody.
have like a mask like thing, like I know he doesn't wear a mask, but like he's completely covered.
Yeah.
You have to like overcompensate with your actions and reactions and stuff.
But
like
he can see his face move and his facial expression, so it's a little different for him than like a screen guy. He didn't have to, right?
No, yeah. But I mean, like, but just knowing that, like, you have to make yourself bigger.
Well, that's why I always stress with this category too that overacting isn't always a bad thing, because we talk about it all the time, and you just gotta, because like Al Pacino, one of our greatest actors of this generation, is a huge actor.
Yeah.
Huge. Well, I wouldn't say he's on the same level, but yes, of course, right? Huge. But yeah, so like it's like you said, sometimes the roles bring it out, and they need to get to certain places, and sometimes they sell us on, and sometimes they don't. But like you're right, Jay, in a horror film, there's a lot of overacting going on. That's why sometimes I stress to say when it comes to these performances in these ones, I say I it's more evident to me when people are underacting, when they're not really doing a great job, right?
Yeah.
So there's like it's like you have to overact almost to kind of get a certain, you know what I mean? Like, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean,
like,
that sex scene too in the beginning, like, I mean, that screaming and all that stuff, that was like pure overacting. Like, I mean, they must have just been standing on the other side of the wall yelling through the wall so that Johnny Depp and Think can hear.
Yeah, Jim Carrey, huge overact, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but no, it's like I said, I don't want to single out like male or female or something in this and just go like that. But I think with 80s films, in general, like horror films, a lot of them, like especially older ones like this in the early 80s, they all have to be overacted a bit, just so you can get that drama and get that blood pumping and get everything, going in your body.
There's plenty of candidates in this film. That's what I was saying. So
Everyone
you
technically
really,
could be a
you
candidate.
can really just throw a dart and pick one of them. So
Yeah.
did you want to nominate somebody? You just want to say 80s films?
I want to say
80s
horror films.
Yeah, there. All right.
Right,
Okay,
because
good.
there is certain ones that I can pick out specifically, but there's about 4 right in here that I can think of right now, off the top of my head that are here on thing that I'm looking at as I'm seeing the names now. Right, that did. I don't know who did more of overacting, is what I'm trying to think,
Right.
because I feel like I don't believe Johnny Depp is one of them. I don't think he overacted in any parts. I think he played his role, his thing just right. Then you bring up a good point too. I found this out earlier, but you know how you just brought up Nicolas Cage. It's because of Nicolas Cage that Johnny Depp got this role, eh?
Really?
Is that true?
He was coming. Well, it may be the first one too as well. I'm not sure, but he was coming just to be a musician. Like he came and moved over. He wasn't going to act. He never came. He never moved down there to act until he ran into Nicolas Cage, man. And I mean, you can check your stats because I got that from Stats herself.
Oh, well, Leslie Stats. Well, I'm
So
not,
I had to bring it up in case she's listening.
not touching that one. So I'll
No,
take
no. Yeah, just take my word for it. I might have said it the wrong way, but yeah.
Well, of course, he's always been involved in music. We know that. So I mean,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That tracks, right?
Well, that's what he tried to go down there for.
Look at
But
this.
then he was Pretty Boy.
That's going on in the chat. I don't know what's happening here. Goat says JT is my choice for overactor. Then Farhan says JT an actor, laugh out loud. And then Harp says Farhan totally missing the joke. JT an actor. I'm just like, what's going on here?
I don't know, man.
I discovered
Yeah. This is my agent.
I mean, I know what happened, but like just to see that unfold in the chat was pretty funny.
That was a good. That they all worked right. Like it actually worked out pretty good. Nice job, guys.
Yeah. All right, next up we got
Anything at my expense.
Jay. Just like you said, there's a lot of overacting. There's possibly a lot of bad performances in this film. What would you give your favorite?
I honestly, what's her name? I think Thing's mom is
Yeah.
She's bad. Yeah.
Marge Thompson, man. Yeah, especially those fucking cheesy drunk scenes and stuff
What's her
like
name?
that. Like her name is Marge Thompson.
Yeah, she was bad.
Oh.
And I mean, I feel like I know her from somewhere too as well. Like her face looks.
She's not. She just has a face.
She has those eyes, like the Farrah Fawcett eyes,
That's
right?
like, she's reminding me of somebody. And Nico and I literally
Is
had
it
some.
Farrah Fawcett?
I was like, no.
I don't know if it's fair.
No, would it be like that with that look? What was that chick's name?
But that we
I don't
all
think so.
isn't that weird that we literally all three had the same, like me and her turned to each other. I'm like,
Well, I
what's
had to look it up.
And it looks up nothing.
nothing.
Fucking nothing.
Yeah, like I'm nothing that
Her
I
picture's still black and white. Is
yeah.
she even alive? That's what I'm trying to wonder.
I think so.
Not
Yeah, she's born. Yeah, she's still alive.
Yeah, no.
diddle the mom.
Marge was not good.
No, she wasn't.
No,
I know.
like, I mean, what has she got on here?
Grabbing fucking bottles of vodka out of the friggin' linen closet, and she's like,
well, that's why I even said like I paused when I said like this is one of the best scenes where she explains the story. Well,
Yeah.
like she's not that great in it, but
no,
like,
but it's an integral
Yeah.
part to this movie.
Oh, she was in Return to Salem's Lot. She was in
yeah.
Tales from the Dark Side, the TV series.
You
These
know,
are in
I
the '80s ones. Like she's done nothing
No.
after the
I
after the 80s.
considered her, but I didn't put her down. But you guys
I
are
didn't
making
either, but
you guys are making a
she's
convincing
there.
argument. I have to switch
Bro,
my answer.
89, nothing. She didn't do nothing until 2019. Now, whether she, wanted to be a mother and whatever, she did a bunch of stuff prior to that. But that's why I'm thinking I'm seeing maybe seeing her in something that I had seen her in the past. But still, nothing rings a bell. There's Nashville and Of One Blood.
Nothing
Right.
that I've actually ever seen. No.
I
No.
put down the one I picked ultimately, although you he may have been worse, but I also didn't feel he was very is Tina's boyfriend, Sue Garcia. That's his name.
Yeah.
This guy was bad. He was bad too. Like,
That's who I picked.
did you?
Who, Rod?
We didn't compare notes,
We
by the
didn't,
way. Yeah,
no.
that's interesting. So
Rob.
Rod?
yeah, he's bad. He was bad, Rod. Yeah, he was. You know what? The part where I thought he was really bad is after she died, and she sees him like in the woods on the way
Yeah,
to school.
he
or
like
something.
grabs her off the sidewalk.
The
That was
way,
creepy.
bro, but the way he delivers his lines, there's no emotion.
No.
Like it's like he's literally just reading the lines. Like it
He's
was,
like, I'm on the lam.
yeah, I'm running. I'm running. I'm on the yeah. I'm like,
Nancy, help me.
it was
Yeah.
It was the delivery. It was
Yeah,
the delivery
so
that
bad.
was bad.
The guy who
The guy who
died
died
in
in
jail.
jail. Yeah, he was bad. Like there was, and it's mostly not because of his presence. And he even had a couple funny lines, like Jay said, the hard-on thing and everything. That was him, right? I think,
it
but
was.
like
Oh, just even the lines.
the,
Like it
the
was just
delivery of the lines.
You know what it is? It's because he talked like a jock. He really did. He talked like a fucking 80s, like
No, but
hardcore
he didn't sell that.
jock.
He didn't
No.
sell that, man. He was
He sounded, you know what? He actually sounded like an 80s version of like Joey from Friends. Duh, that kind of fucking.
yeah, very
you know?
for
Yeah,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's why I say typical like jock style, like in that sense. Maybe that's what it was relating it to me as, like, you know, like what could you relate it? Because
Yeah.
they did make a reference to the jock. You're the jock, bring the baseball.
right.
Yeah.
You know, that's what she says, right?
Yeah, no, I just found him terrible.
Oh.
It was that scene in particular where I wrote his name down. I'm just like, yeah, this guy's got fish.
I
But
mean, I didn't put him in there because of that, because I liked his quotes, man. I thought he was a perfect
That scene
pig.
was horrible. I have that'll be brought up later too.
Yeah.
But like, what the fuck?
all right, so moving on here. That Guy Award. This is my pick first here, and for this one actually. I gotta say, this is one of those instances where it's I guess that woman award, and I'm gonna give it to the girl that you guys gave it to for the favorite cameo, which is what's her name, Lynn Shay. What was her name? Here, I have it written down here.
Lynn
Where
Shay.
the hell is it? I can't find that. Lynn Shay, yeah.
Yeah.
Lynn Shay was the teacher. That's the scary lady in Insidious and a bunch of other things.
That's
She's
your
li-
lady.
She literally every time I see her in a movie, I'm like, oh, it's that creepy lady. Yeah. Every time.
There's a couple people like, ugh.
I know she's one of them. She's one of them. She always plays like a really mean woman or scary
Yeah.
old lady in things,
She's
right?
seen some shit.
Yeah. Well, Insidious, she's the psychic person,
Yeah.
isn't she? Yeah, that's right. But she plays like a weird. Oh, hey now, there you go.
Hey, guys, Sunday, guys, Sunday.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, for sure. That's who I picked for that category. It was Lynn Shay. So
Yeah.
and I could have put her in cameo as well, but I tried to keep it separate. I always try to put out different names for these if I can. But Lynn Shay, yeah, it was that
You
woman
blocked
award.
Goat.
What?
You blocked Goat.
Did I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
bring
Nothing.
him back. What the fuck?
Sorry, Goat. I was trying to block the other thing. I don't know how to bring him back now. Sorry, you're blocked.
Oops.
I think it's only for a time. No, it's only for a 5-minute time over.
Yeah. Go. We'll hear from you in a minute. That was an accident.
Yeah, it'll come back, buddy.
Yeah.
I know you can still hear
I
us.
didn't really have anybody that I could think of for like that guy because nobody else really stuck out to me. So I did a little digging and I was like, this is just interesting. So I'm gonna put it in here. The nurse in the insane or the when she's doing like the sleep stint or whatever.
Right.
Her name is Mimi Craven. She was married to Wes Craven.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She looks like the girl from American Gigolo. I don't know if she's in that one.
married
She
to
looks
him.
like the young girl.
To 87. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. So I put that as my that guy award.
Yeah, it is his wife. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that's the only one that carries his last name still.
Yeah.
I think in that sense, yeah, because of the kids. But yeah, no, it was kind of weird that you said that because it's I had a brain fart. Where the fuck did I go?
Mimi Craven.
Well, yeah, she looks like the girl. And it's funny because I look at her picture on the thing and she still shows her young picture on the IMDb. And I'm like, wait a second, that's not that girl from because this new series, American Gigolo, has a girl that looks like her. She's the actual,
Okay.
the queen chick or whatever. Yeah. So, it's funny. It's kind of looks like her, but it's not obviously because the age difference doesn't line
Yeah.
up. It just that picture lines up perfectly with what the other
With
girl
what
kind of
she
looks like.
used to look like.
Mm-hmm. But
Who is your that guy?
he's out. You guys waiting for my that guy is the doctor in there. There's a doctor. It's Dr. King, on there, right? I think it was more at the thing. His name is Charles Fletcher. Or Fletcher, whatever. I seen him in all kinds of stuff. Roger Rabbit.
Oh,
Yeah, bro. Roger Rabbit. He's been in like Tales from the Crypt. He's been in a lot of TV series too that came out, right? I was like, I know this guy from somewhere. But then I started looking up more just now as I'm looking. And I didn't realize he's the guy. I know he's Bob Vaughn, the guy on the Zodiac, the last one. That's where I had just seen him most recently,
Okay.
right?
I didn't
It's
know
because I had watched the Zodiac a little while ago, right? But those are the three that he's the four that he's actually named for. Was this one, the Zodiac, Roger Rabbit, Back to the Future, right?
Oh,
He's been
he worked a lot with Christopher Lloyd then.
he's been in quite a
Yeah,
he's been in quite a few.
And yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very
he's been in a few, and he's been in some horror movies. Now that I'm looking, I didn't realize it was this big, but I knew I seen him from somewhere, right? Because his face looked familiar. And it's kind of IMBD. It actually makes him look a little bit like the guy that played Dexter at one point. So I went through it
Oh,
just
really?
to see. Yeah, but it's not the same name. I'm like, what the
No,
fuck?
no.
Why is it throwing me off?
right.
Right. So I'd gone through and I started seeing where I had seen him from. But yeah, lots of he's got kind of all kinds of credits here, man, but nothing like crazy. There's some things that are crazy. Like I remember watching Roger Rabbit as a kid, like crazy. Dick Tracy's in. I was
Oh
a
my God, I
reporter in
love
Dick
Roger
Tracy.
Rabbit.
He's a reporter in the Dick Tracy, right? I didn't know
Right.
that, but I bet you if you can go back, you can go see him now, like because it's a big role. It's a decent role on the thing. Dick Tracy had a lot of reporters and shit in it following it around. You remember Dick Tracy with
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
what the fuck's his name now? Why can't I remember his name?
I know who stars in it. No, I know Dick Tracy. I forgot the movie. It's been a while since I've seen it, but yes,
Why the fuck can I remember his name? Because he fell off the face of the earth,
he did.
or did he die?
No.
Why am I'm having a brain fart. I'll have to find it for you guys, man. But
Yeah, you look up your stats there. I'll go on to the next category here. So
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
but I think this is Christine's now. This one, clutch performance of the
No,
film.
someone else go first.
Okay, what do I have for clutch performance on this one? You know what? I'm gonna give it to Johnny Depp. I think he did pretty good in this movie for it being his first movie. I'm gonna give it to Johnny Depp. I think he was an important part of the movie for being that I guess the boyfriend love interest of Nancy.
Yeah.
I felt that Nancy's performance wasn't all that great. So even though it's important to have her in the sense that she's clutch because you need that character, her performances, her scenes weren't very that clutch. I mean, originally, again, I just think he did a good job just for this being his first film. So that's mainly why I'm giving it to him. If I wasn't, I was actually going to give it my backup for this one, but I didn't ultimately go with him, was going to be the father. I think he did a really good job. His scenes also were important, I felt like, but I'm going to go with Johnny Depp because Johnny Depp is, did a great job, I think,
Yeah.
for somebody's first movie.
The reason why I wanted you to go first because I was like everything I have is like super Robert Englund heavy.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'd probably go with Johnny Depp too. But I'm like, what you were just saying with the fact that you were going between Johnny Depp and the father, I'm like, everyone failed Nancy.
Yeah.
Everyone, every single person. I'm like, what the fuck? So
Yeah.
I'd go with Johnny Depp as well, but my heart wants to Freddie.
I mean, yeah, he is clutch in this as well as being your favorite
Yeah.
performance. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, I hear you. Every scene he was in, it definitely.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I don't think like Johnny Depp brought anything that.
No, but he needed to be in the movie.
Yeah, I
like,
think
that character needed to exist.
Yeah, and I just thought like Jay mentioned, out of all like the maybe overperformers and everything else in this, for this being his first film, I don't think he hammed it up as much as a lot of the other people did.
No.
Now, if that's just an experience or
it's almost
whatever.
like he played himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, he
just
was
very
so
casual.
so yeah. So there you go. So Johnny Depp. I'll give him a shout out like he needs to. All right, Jay.
Yeah, you know what? Because I was up in the air with three of them here, right? And because I want one for Who Stole the Movie too for me, right? So I'm trying to think which one I want to pick for this one because I got a couple. I'm balancing them. I got them here, but I don't want to say the wrong one and give it up. But because I always mix up clutch performance and I always mess with clutch performance and Who Stole Who Stole It, because clutch performance is a lot of if it wasn't for that person in the film and those certain sequences, you wouldn't have that type of film. The performance has to stand out like that. And honestly, I believe Nancy, because she was the one that led the whole. She kind of led the whole with the whole scene, just about every scene in a sense, right? I was thinking about Freddie in that sense too, but
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
that's fair.
it's based on him, right? In the sense, right? So without her in it, helping that storyline along, that I think that's what made it clutch. I mean, you could pick somebody small and stuff like that, like you can pick Johnny Depp, as like you said, but I don't know. I think the clutch has to be something that made you look at the movie and go, "That was a great actress," or that's something that helped carry it along. I know it's at some parts she might have overacted, but obviously she overacted for a reason, because that's, like I said, what kind of makes a horror film for the 80s,
Right.
right? So I believe she's got the clutch performance. I still don't believe she stole the show, but I think she's got a lot of clutch performances in the show, like in the movie. Sorry, right? Like where that scene deserved to have her in it. I don't know. Maybe you could have had anybody in that part, but I think she did good for what she was put out there to do.
Right.
There you go. All right.
Which is not much, but screaming and kind of making people believe.
I like your
Try-
reasoning.
I know.
I like your reasoning. It's good.
Well,
For sure.
You know, she's got to make people believe it's kind of real, right? So I mean, you might have to, like you said, overreact and overact.
Nobody believed her.
Yeah. So I mean, that's it. Nobody believed her. She's trying to. Yeah. Everybody thinks she's fucking crazy. It's like when I try to say something and nobody believes me. Everybody thinks I'm crazy.
Movie.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Michael, watch out for him.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
You crazy old coot.
No one ever fucking
Yeah.
believes him. He's the devil himself. Run.
Evil.
Yeah.
What's with Nico in this Arnold voice, man? He's been doing it all week, man. What's going on? Has he watched any Arnold movies?
My Loomis voice.
Oh, that sounds like Arnold, though. It sounded like when you came on the screen as me the other day. Yeah.
Pretty close.
Oh,
So next up we got nitpicks.
Oh,
and am I Arnold if I do that now?
hold on. Where's my nitpick?
There's some nitpicks in this one. We'll let you go first if you want, Christine.
That's the one that I didn't crazy
So-
write down.
How did Rod die in 2.3 seconds and not fight? And why didn't we see Freddy? Like every other death scene, we've seen Freddy,
Right.
but yet this one, he's like in a jail cell. He's not asleep any longer. Like he's woken up at this point, and you don't see him. And he's just like slowly dragging him like up with a friggin' sheet to hang him. And then he's just like, like he doesn't try to kick. He doesn't try to like get out. He's not screaming. He's not doing anything. Like he's just like a limp fucking rag.
Yeah.
And just like all of a sudden they get like it's not even like they took long to find him. He was right there. They were right there. And he was just like, nope. I don't know. That to me was like the stupidest death.
It was pretty dumb.
That made no fucking sense.
Yeah.
And it was just for them to be like, see? There's
Yeah.
something else. Who could have killed him?
Yeah, that one wasn't very
Yeah,
good.
no, but he hung himself with the thing and just, his feet weren't even off the friggin' ground.
I didn't even realize that. I thought maybe just because he was sleeping or something, like he was in the jail.
But you never even saw Freddy. Like, you see him through the phone, you see him like all through all these little other things. You always see Freddy doing something, and this one's like, nope. I don't know.
I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
That was a weird death.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's pretty good.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they were all weird deaths. I mean, I don't know
Well,
anybody
yeah, but
gets
I mean,
sucked into the bed like that. But yeah. But
He was sleeping.
yeah,
Like, I know he was sleeping when it started, but
yeah,
like, it was just a lame death.
yeah. No, I get what you're saying. But like I said, he seemed like that lame character too.
Yeah, he was dumb.
Maybe it fit that whole role. Like maybe
Yeah.
it
Like,
came
I talk
full
all this
circle.
shit, and then I just like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
what,
bye.
what a Rob answer. My nitpicks is when the cars are on dirt, yet you still hear tires squealing as if
That's the best, bro. That's the best.
mhm.
That's actually good. That's actually good at That's it. It's a good pinpoint. Like, I mean, there's a lot of fucking.
Good nitpick. Yeah, I know it is.
There's a lot of movies that come out like that, you know, where you're
course, 'cause
hearing
it's just
squealing and shit. Yeah,
Soundboard
it's all added in right at the end, right after that shit. So
to make
I
it
mean,
dramatic.
yeah, that's kind of crazy when you think about it.
What else? You got anything
No,
else?
Oh, of course I do.
Yeah,
I
go
didn't
for
know
it.
if we were doing.
Yeah, no, you say them
Uh,
all.
oh, you got a lot, man. I don't know if I have that many.
And then when they're doing okay, but I also so they were doing an EEG on Nancy when she had her they were trying to figure out her sleeping and stuff like that, and they had 3 leads on her. Like 1, 2, 3. What the fuck are you getting from her chin?
Well,
What-
you know what? I have that too.
Her
Because
damn
Yeah, there's
chin.
one
Yeah.
right here. Yeah.
Like,
trust me, I should have took a picture.
current are you getting when you've done an EEG? You usually have like a whole head of things. Like the entire head gets
They strap you up, everything, man. I
and
did
you've got
a
these
sleep
wires
test.
hanging off, especially an overnight one. Like it's
Yeah,
intense. But
yeah.
yet it's not a fucking pimple cover. Like
I was dying when I seen that. I had said that too. I was like, how? Like I had more fucking cords on me than that shit. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And that was just going in the ER overnight.
like
Fuck.
yeah, you get a whole shebang, not just like 2 in a friggin' pimple.
No, and then you got to try to sleep. Yeah.
That one really bothered
Maybe that's
me.
why they were trying to they were trying to hide.
Well, I guess nobody's technically a doctor on the scene.
Oh, and then she had when Nancy at the end is telling her dad like to come in 20 minutes. She's like, "Come in 20 minutes. It'll be 12:30 exactly. Come and wake me up. Break down the door." Like, you know, trying to like create urgency and is like, "Just go to sleep, honey. You'll be okay." And then she proceeds to hang up the phone, and in 20 minutes, she has done the whole montage of setting up all of her booby traps.
Yes.
Fucking puts her drunk mother to bed on the couch, and that's when she finds out about Freddie, has that entire conversation. Then she sets herself up to go to bed, falls asleep. She's got 10 minutes to fall asleep, find Freddie. That's when she's like, "Freddie,
Yeah.
where are you, Freddie?"
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't time it, so I
And
don't
no
know.
one's there to wake her up, and her fucking little watch goes off, and she's like, "Where are you?"
Well, at least she set an alarm.
Yeah, but
Oh,
nobody's
fuck.
there.
Nobody cared about it.
Johnny Depp was dead because he fell asleep, and her dad. And then she's like banging on the doors, and this one friggin' cop outside is like,
Yeah. He's like,
"This woman doesn't seem in distress
he's,
at
he's
all."
like, I should report this to the chief or whatever the hell.
Well,
it
at first
is.
he's like,
Yeah.
"Just go back to sleep, sweetie."
Who's her father? Right?
Yeah.
Now
Get my
he has to
father,
report
get my
this.
father. Yeah.
She starts like
Yeah.
breaking. She broke like 7 windows. Then he's finally like,
An idiot. I
"Maybe
know.
I should go tell her dad."
Moron. Yeah, that was a big nitpick for sure. Yeah. Yeah, that was dumb.
That's really like the whole like last death sequence too, isn't it? Like the whole sleep death sequence, the last dream in a sense.
Yeah.
Really, right?
Oh,
So,
that was just the worst.
a little much, yeah.
That was it for
That
me.
was
I
it?
just had those 3.
You Jay? What do you got?
I mean, you know, like sometimes, like with me, with nitpicks when it comes down to older things like this, a lot of cheesy acting and stuff like that, and, you know, and it's corny acting. It's just like the way it has to be. So that'll always be a nitpick of mine. But also, you know what else is a nitpick, bro?
What?
What defines this movie from the other movies for me? Like
What's
Friday
that?
why Friday the 13th is my favorite.
Go ahead.
There was boobies.
There's more sex in those films.
There's
Yeah.
no boobs.
Yeah, this isn't there's
Nothing. That was more teenage shit.
They're
Like,
all
you know, they're at
underage.
camp. Yeah, they're all at camp and they're all fucking having orgies and stuff. These guys were they were teasing you with it.
right.
You know,
Yeah,
like
that is-
the jokes.
Like 15.
That is something that happens in
I don't need to see them, but like, there's a lot of horror movies that you know, the Freddy franchise is not like that. I mean, they do have a couple that
From the regular
Yeah.
format.
I know, but that's maybe why it does. I don't know. I can't say that's not why it doesn't attract me because I like Robert England, right? So I like him, but I just don't know why Freddy never caught my attention like Jason. I don't know. Maybe because Freddy talks,
Underage diddler.
You're not supposed to. Yeah.
and
You're
not
not
supposed to like diddlers. Yeah, so maybe that's the whole reason. Yeah, maybe that's the whole reason. I you know, maybe Jason. He's not. You know, they never really said if he's a diddler or anything. On Friday the 13th, so we don't know.
Well, no, but the
Right.
people that he kills are, of age.
Of age, yeah, that's maybe it too, right? But I don't know. That's always, that's Nico, and I just throw that in there. That's a safe nitpick for me, right? But I mean, especially for 80s horror movies, this did not have enough. 80s horror movies has to have more than that. At least one scene with it. The poor girl, like but they made her take her shirt off. Wait. They made her take her shirt off in front of everybody there, but you only got to see her back. Those poor pigs that were on scene there, on screen, on set, whoever that was, the producers and stuff, and all that. She was young.
I don't know what he's going on about.
I don't know
now.
what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
she was undressed to go into the fucking thing. I don't remember one of the girls. I think it was Nancy at that time, right? So I was kind of happy she didn't turn around because she was younger in that thing, but in that sense, right? But I mean, it was like a whole Harvey Weinstein set
Get it on with anyone.
Huh?
You mean Tina?
Tina's the one that hooked up.
Yeah, Tina. Sorry.
Yeah,
Was
she
it
was
Tina?
the one that hooked up with the stupid.
Yeah. No, but I think it was just when she got into the bath. That was the thing that got out after,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you just did that. They did that with the towel.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but that's about it. There was nothing else.
Because the mother woke her up, right?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Realized in this, other than
But I mean, when it comes to the 80s, like I said, the 80s horror movies and stuff like that, I it's not a nitpick of mine, but I actually like the makeup, and not so much of a nitpick. It's actually good that they don't have the CGI, and I don't know how to relate that as that being that no CGI is that having, I don't know how to say it so that it sounds like I like the makeup aspect of it and the acting.
But that's
So
not a nitpick, if you like.
No, I know, but it's a nitpick that they don't use it as much anymore.
Oh,
Is
okay.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
right.
It seems so fake, and nowadays you only have to have one actor on set and nobody else around. You know what I
Right.
mean? Which is kind of a nitpick of mine. So maybe I'll word it that way by saying it that right is that there's no more there's no more real acting in horror movies nowadays. So that'll be it. Yeah. So I hate that. Maybe that could be in another category too. See, I'm mixing them up because we still got worst and best. Yeah. Let me just shut up now for a bit. Everybody got.
If you're like rambling for 10 minutes, if I wasn't looking something up, I would have like shut you down by this point. This is.
I was wondering why you were shutting me down. I was like, Nico, man, in my head, I'm thinking, shut me down, bro. Please.
I
I don't know
thought
what
you
the
were
fuck
going to
I'm
make a
doing.
quicker point than that.
I thought so too. It was going there, but I lost it.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
was going, but I lost it.
Nico's nitpick.
my nitpick.
Yeah. What's your nitpick, Nico? JT, listening to JT ramble while we're doing fucking.
Was that I
those
think
gases.
she's been more loopy, Nancy, after 7 days without sleep.
Yeah.
There's a moment where she says that in passing during that whole scene that you're talking about, where she's preparing for dragging him out of the dream. And yeah, that's cool. Like, it was a great idea and everything. But like, she just throws that out there to Johnny Depp's character, Glenn, and says that, oh yeah, it's been like 7 days since I haven't slept.
The record is 11. I'm still okay.
Right. I'm just like, you seem pretty, like, I will say
Out
that
of it.
like, they focused a little bit
sleep
more.
deprivation. Like, I get loopy after,
Yeah. I mean, we've seen, I think they focus a little bit more on that, actually, to be honest, in the 2010 remake, because they're doing drugs and all this other kinds
they're
of
actually
shit.
trying to actively stay awake.
Yeah, I did like that aspect about the remake. I will say that, because in this one, at least in this one, they kind of focus a little bit more on it in Dream Warriors a little bit, because that is like a sleep clinic that they're all in. So like, I get that, but in this one, they didn't really focus. They kind of just threw that in, and that's like such a big deal that you're not sleeping for several days. And then there's even
fucking insane.
Well, not only that, and it does happen to her ultimately.
Yeah.
There's the lapse where you can't tell what's reality and what isn't, and that's like an actual thing that happens to people. Like,
you're right. Because your dreams become reality in a sense, because you're like sleeping zombie.
That's right. So
walking zombie in that sense.
So I don't feel for a film that was the main reason why
premise.
Like of the villain, like the main, like, you know what I mean? The main thing about the villain, you don't even focus on all that much. That's a big nitpick for me. I feel like
that's a good one.
Because it's such a clever clever thing that they made up. You can't sleep.
Yeah.
But I think other
They mastered it later on, though. They
other
started
films
putting
explored it
yeah.
more. Yeah, other films explored it more, and this one was just more based on like the whole like building the tension of this character, you know, and everything else, right? But yeah, remake will be Freddy versus Cocaine Warriors. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, this was
I think they had to stick
missed
to a
opportunity.
very specific time frame, and like to add that into it would have just been a whole other like storyline and a whole lot longer of a film.
yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
I think it's a bit of a missed opportunity that they should have focused a little bit more on that aspect of it. So that's my main nitpick, really, because I mean, like you could sit here and like, and you did a good job, I think, of covering stuff like that were just funny,
random shit,
story problems in a horror film, and I could have kind of picked up more about the part as well. But I figured like that was the thing that bugged me the most. I think about
that's fair.
Yeah, so
that's a good one.
She had a bunch of 15-minute power naps, bro. She's good.
Yeah.
You know how that works. Like you've done that for years, man. Come on.
Sure. Okay, so next
She's
one.
like working 3 jobs, man. She's good.
That's right. Yeah, there was times like that for sure. What's aged the best?
Me.
I'll go first on this. I wrote the intro. As Jay mentioned, the intro was excellent. I think that's aged very well, and I think it's something you don't see that much anymore, like an intro like that. Freddy's song, of course. And just his design, Freddy's design, period. This character, I think, still is an interesting character today. Yeah, like I think
that's fucking terrifying.
It's aged great, like honestly, like and also the story of his origin, of the boiler room aspect to it, that whole aesthetic to the film, like the whole like
he's burnt and shit.
I just as aged incredibly well. I think you could, if that came out today, that would still be an interesting, I think, idea for a movie. This character,
his whole premise too, like it's inescapable. Just the fact that like you have to sleep, like that's why Jason and Michael are kind of like, okay, like run.
Yeah, we'll get you.
I mean,
eventually,
their whole thing is too, you can't kill them, but same with Freddy. Like he's in the same arena.
Yeah, you can't kill the guy. Like you tried.
At the end of every movie, they find a way to defeat him for now, but he returns, right? Yeah. So just like those other guys, but there's also the whole aspect of it, like you said, like not only is there's the whole sleep thing. There's the whole thing about he'll play with you, he'll mess with you, like he'll scare
he just fucks with you. Yeah,
like there's times where he doesn't take the opportunity to kill them just because he wants to scare the shit out of them and actually get stronger, and then that's when he does really crazy shit, right? So like I think that's really interesting, that like when it comes to that kind of stuff, right? So I think it's aged incredibly well. So that whole aspect of it. That's what I wrote. And then I wrote, there's one more thing I think I wrote here. And again, I wrote the trap scene too, just because I think it's just funny with the trap scene. Home Alone thing with the movie trap. I just think that's aged funny, because I think it's aged well, just because now I look back and I can make that reference to Home Alone. And I just think it's funny that that's the case, right? So, anyways, how about you?
I wrote Johnny Depp.
I know, I got you. I'm on you. High five.
But until those fucking shaved photos. Oof. What was that?
Yeah, those photos going around right now are not complimentary. Yeah.
What are you talking about? I don't even want to know about Johnny Depp shaved. I don't even want to know.
He shaved like little goatee and thing, and he just.
I thought, you guys stoop low. You went with the JT answer. I thought better of you guys. You went with
man. I limited my Johnny Depp talk. I have limited.
I haven't said anything really about him yet.
Here now.
No,
we have a couple things coming up. Jay Depp.
No, the reason I said that, Jay, is because the other times, even I've been guilty of it, where we watch some movies, we're like, "Wow, she's aged great," and we're like some chick or something.
Yeah,
right? And he goes watching what he's saying. Yeah, because it's like, because I'm gonna say, what's her name? Johnny Depp. Yeah, no, but even popularity wise, right? You're right. He did age the best about everything.
Yeah,
but if you want about looks, I mean, that Amanda Ways, Tina looks fucking hot.
Who?
Tina looks hot nowadays.
Oh,
I haven't seen her.
Me neither.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now. Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Amanda WYSS. With these fucking names, like the other guy, JSU Garcia. Like, really? Where's the rest of it? They want to be like me, JT.
How'd you say it?
I don't know. I said Jusu. I don't
No,
know.
you actually said something proper, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm
I
glad
think you said it right.
Izu or something. I said
No,
something
you
like
didn't
that.
say that.
I don't know.
Re-listen later."
Yeah, I did say it.
You
I did right.
and
Yeah.
it actually sounded normal. I was like, "Thank God you said it," because I was gonna say Jesu.
Jesu, or I think probably Jesu. Yeah, I don't
maybe.
know. Anyways, James, what do you have?
Yeah, it's probably like that, eh? Like Jesus.
Jesus.
Right. Yeah, no, but you know what I like too? I you know what I think it's aged well. Even that what Freddy's look like. I mean, like even if you have it as a costume, a Halloween costume, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna know it. Like regardless of how old you are, I think that look.
Butter.
Yeah, I think that look is aged well. I don't think it'll ever go away. To be honest with you, in that sense, that's always gonna, besides the whole Johnny Depp thing. I don't care who plays what's it called?
Ready?
Freddy. It doesn't really matter. It's that style with the fucking striped sweater and the hat, right?
Watch the remake, and then you might have a different answer.
Yeah, I know. I don't. That's why I kind of leave it back. Like 80s horror movies, I've kind of separated them from 80s and early 90s horror movies. I've separated them from like the new stuff in a sense.
Right.
Yeah, just because I can't look at them that same.
No, and you shouldn't.
So what?
There's-
So what do you have? You just got Johnny Depp. Is aged well there, Jay?
No, and the whole like.
Freddy.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That Freddy is himself, yeah. But I mean, the whole like, even though I say it, but the corniness of horror movie acting is awesome in a sense, bro. I don't think I could ever not watch it. Like, because now I could smile to it and have a good laugh. Okay,
Right.
yeah, I could say, "What the fuck is that?" Like, and be criticizing it. But at the end of the day, it still makes you want to watch it. Like, I still didn't. Okay, the first couple times I tried watching, I fell asleep only because I was laying down watching it and not paying attention. It was fucking 3 a.m. But when I could actually sit there and watch that whole fucking film and not worry about, yeah, it's corny in that sense. I know it's corny. I know it's gonna be corny to me in a sense because of that old style. But I like the acting in that way too, right? So I feel like even there, just the acting aspect of how you want to present it turned out it aged good in that sense, because I can still watch it today and feel like, to make me feel like I was a kid again watching it, and then as well as an adult, it was actually really good so I think that for me personally, age is good. Age is good with me and Mike, because I forgot, like, until you told me to watch it, I totally forgot that I did like it. I mean, I didn't, like I said, it wasn't my number one, but I mean, like I liked it. I forgot how old it was too, right?
Good. Yeah, I think it holds up. Honestly, it is quite good. So,
the whole film itself does hold up, right?
Okay, so
yeah. No, go on, because I know it's probably gonna be
the worst. Why don't you start us off there then? What's age the worst?
Just the way how it fucking translate, all those old films translate from fucking analog to fucking digital, because that was on a tube TV one time, right?
Right.
So it's a totally different viewing experience. I mean, I don't find it as great in that sense, watching it as charming for the eyes, let's say.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because colors.
That's what's aged the worst for you, or
no? It has, and that part it has aged, because colors have changed, the way we see things on the screen, stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's changed, right? Big time. So I feel like that part of it, I don't know if it makes sense that sort of watching it in that old, like I know where
VHS viewing anymore.
No, man, I'm totally done. Like, fuck the VHS viewing, honestly. Yeah. But I mean, now that we can watch it like this, and you're expecting to see something on a flat screen that has high definition color and all that.
Yeah.
They bring high definition to these older films, but their high definition color isn't like, it's Technicolor. It's not like fucking what we're using today. You know what I mean? With the primary colors, these guys are using the fucking, I don't know, that whole when color was added to the film before, and this is just after all that, right? Like, I don't know, for some reason, I don't know if it's just me, but am I not right by when you see the color of that and the shooting of that film, it's totally different than seeing it.
No filters and shit like that.
It's
now.
weird, right?
Add shit like flip a fucking screen and you have a filter on it to change your colors.
Like you
pattern.
said, a lot of it is analog. Then it's not.
Yeah, it's not digital.
Yeah. So like
Right.
there's a certain quality to it, right? And
So I think that's what takes the fear out of it a little bit nowadays as you're older.
yeah, but
Yeah.
again,
That's what-
some types of people that are purists and stuff like that, like Quentin Tarantino and stuff like that, who has
They like that. Yeah.
his cinema,
yeah.
he loves it. His cinema that he has, the New Beverly, that's how they do they 18 millimeter or whatever the hell millimeter it is.
Yeah,
like,
that's how he filmed.
that's what he actually shows
Films
the
on,
film
yeah.
on, because in theaters
Not a real.
how it is now too. Like he actually does it still on an old school reel. A lot of the films, like when he did his last film, The Hateful Eight or whatever, he specifically made that movie so he can also put that on that old school way and actually air the film at his theater, right?
Yeah.
Like so
And
so
he actually wanted theaters to
ha-
change their
that's right.
dimensions to actually
to
Fit the
accommodate.
screen. To fit
Yeah,
the screen. No, I get what you're saying. Like, that's what I mean. You can tell this one doesn't even fit the screen. This looks like it's a TV, a 2 TV.
Well, no, because
sometimes.
this
You could
is
stretch it, obviously.
Yeah, this is when the widescreen
Yeah,
or
there was no 1080. It says HD
Yeah.
1080, but yeah, it was like, oh fuck, it looks like just one of us. Like here,
yeah.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, we're done with the 80s when it comes to film like that. Like, and when it comes to watching stuff like that, we're in fucking 2020, man. There's a lot more changes. I mean, I'm watching a fucking movie on my phone for fuck's sakes instead of a VHS, right? My phone's smaller than an actual VHS cassette itself. You know what I mean? So, but could you just imagine how many times that thing's been transferred and like and compressed and all that to make it fit everywhere? So that part of it throws me off. I don't know. I just, like I said, I'd rather look at the colors behind you guys than watching that analog style anymore.
Right.
Even sound, you can even tell with the sound, the music quality,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Fuck.
Nico.
What's age the worst?
Tape cassettes.
Music on tape. Yeah, I got that written down
Yeah,
here.
it's what I have here too. My first one.
Took the word out of my mouth there.
Sorry.
Johnny Depp's clothes in that scene where he has the cropped off football shirt. Yeah, that is not aged well. I'm like, what is going on?
80s belly tops for boys.
Yeah, I'm just like,
No wonder
yeah,
there was
why
diddlers,
is he
bro.
wearing that, dude? Why are you wearing that? He's got like the stupid fucking crop top, like whatever it is, like football
His
shirt.
little football
Right
jersey
before he gets
thing.
killed,
Yeah.
he's wearing that, right? So
It
yeah.
was like a style in the 80s.
No, I know it's a
Yeah.
style, but that has not aged well. It's aged
No.
very badly. I'm like,
Very
whoa.
bad, eh?
Yeah.
Could you imagine me walking down the street with something like that, guys?
Also,
Like,
like,
crop top from here.
yeah.
Late night crop top, everybody.
Yeah, like crop top. That's our new shirt design, guys. Get ready for that one.
Men only.
Also, yeah, that's right. Also, the one I wrote down here actually was just like lame like bullies in movies. Like bullies just haven't
Yes.
aged well. Like, you know what I mean? Like we've all like, you know what I mean? We like that, and we lived through the era of whether bullying was a big thing, right?
Yeah.
So like, but now watching these movies, like just the lame bullies that are in the horror films, especially, I'm just like they're bullying people for like just saying stupid things for no reason. Like, and I get
Yeah.
that's a thing. Like, it's just like watching
Just
it.
heckling.
Yeah, it just hasn't aged well. I'm just like, come on, what kid? Like, yeah, like who
Yeah.
fucking's gonna waste their time with a lot of this shit? Now it's all different because it's online.
Yeah.
Bullying's changed, right?
Internet
Bullying
bullying
is
now, it's-
trolling
yeah.
and everything
You can
else,
be
right?
hidden now.
That's-
You don't have to do it in
So
person.
like bullying, some of the bullies in this film that were in the school just didn't age well to me. When I
No.
was watching it, I'm just like, this is so stupid, right? Like it's
Is it bad that never bothered me? I don't mind bullying. No.
Listen, I didn't have any bad experiences with bullies. Thankfully, me myself. But like, you know, we've all were around the time like where there was lots of bullies in school. We lived through that time where it was a big thing, right? So, but even now, like watching this film, I don't think it's aged well, like in a favorable way. Where I'm looking
No.
at it and be like, that's fucking bully. You know what I mean? I'm just like, look at this idiot. Like,
yeah.
half
Like,
the time,
oh, you're a moron.
half the time the bullies in these horror films too are like punks that like would be the nerd, like the kids that would get picked on. Like I find that they sometimes cast these guys, they're like, you're letting this
Yeah.
kid bully you? I'm just like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Like, you know what I mean? Like who are these guys, right? Like what a weed, right? I don't know.
What
So
a weed. What a weed. Hey, what a weed. I love that. Who says that?
Yeah.
The people that say that word, what a weed.
Ryan's coming for you. Oh,
Oh shit.
that is
Better
scary.
lock the door, bro.
Scarier. All
I
right.
think we ended up losing Colt the
I
whole
have-
night.
Going off of your bullying thing, I have like the lame ass insults.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Like at the
Yeah.
very beginning of the movie, fucking Rod's insults to people. I'm like, what the shit is happening right now? and then just the 80s movie parenting and like adults in general.
Right.
Like just the adults that they have in 80s movies, and especially it's shown in
Horrible.
this one.
Yeah.
Like they're all so absent and they're all so terrible.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Like a lot of people grew up like at latchkey kids. Like you could just come and go, whatever. And your parents were not always there,
Right.
and we didn't have technology like we do now to fucking track your ass down.
Right.
But like, it was so bad.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Well, even like they said, like the father and stuff like that. It's like, people are just dying willy nilly here in the most gruesome way. But just have a nap, sweetie. You'll
Well,
be fine.
I totally get what you're saying. Like, I mean, like, frig, I see, like, let's say, kids like my nephew. They when I was his age, at 12, whatever, 13, I was going and disappearing all day long. Where they would call the cops
You'd
on
write
me.
a
My
note
mom would
on
call the
it.
cops, or no, my mom would call the cops. My mom would literally call the cops because she didn't know where the fuck we were. Me and my brother. We took.
Oh,
he was
no,
younger
I
than
would
me,
just
right?
write a note. Went to so and so's house. Be back by
Yeah.
6 or something.
Yeah.
Oh, we wouldn't be at somebody's house. We would just be on a bike or something going out.
Well, no,
like,
I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I would fuck off on my bike for hours. But I mean, like, yeah. So we were all kind of like latchkey kids. Like you could come and go, but like at least your parents were more present than these parents in these movies because they're just like, I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. There was some.
like, oh, you're scared? I'm gonna lock you in this house. Oh.
No, for sure. For sure. Anything else, or
No, that was my
I actually.
two main
I
ones.
actually one more thing I forgot. But again, while I'm putting this on hasn't aged well, I also think it has aged well in the sense that we appreciate it. We all talked about it here tonight. Is obviously some of the effects. Like I think they did a good job of doing it, but there's certain stuff, particularly the fire suit. The fire suit bugged me. The fire suit bugged me because
Just
like
it was so easily identifiable.
yeah, like one scene to the next, you're like, who's this fat guy? Like,
He's like,
who's this fat Freddy? Like,
yeah.
Freddy just gained 300 pounds because he's in a fire suit, running, and he's like slowly walking, like in this
Up the
fat
stairs.
suit. Yeah, like what the hell?
On fire.
Yeah.
Like,
It was just very apparent.
Yeah.
That was one where I'm just like, it's not the way they made the other effects because okay, that's cool. Like we can appreciate that. But that one, I was just like, okay, come on now. Like I was like, that one hasn't aged.
and it's for safety. So
right, right.
it's
So
not like you're just gonna light some dude on fire.
No. Okay. Possibly unanswerable questions. Do you have any for this?
Who's kicking Johnny Depp out of bed? Who? He tried to start making out with her, and she's like, no. And then he's like, oh, let's get it on in bed. And she's like, get out of my bed. You sit in this chair.
Well, I mean, he wasn't that star yet, like he didn't have that notoriety. He didn't have the Johnny Depp, if you know what I
But
mean.
he doesn't have notoriety in this movie.
That's what I mean. So why would she
I know, but,
she kicking him out of his bed? That's why she wants to sleep with the main actor. She's looking for Freddie. Sorry, no, I'm just messing with you. I'm just trying to answer your question. That's all. No, I know.
I'm like, Freddie, Johnny Depp. There's a very distinct difference there.
That was like Johnny Depp. I'm gonna hang on the wall after, right? That was just before the 21 Jump Street. So that's when everybody was.
And he was
rubbing
also the
out to
worst.
Johnny
He
Depp.
kept falling asleep. She's like, just sit with me. And like immediately he's asleep in the chair. And then she calls him across the street. And he's like, yeah, I'll stay awake. And he's like, and he fucking dies.
Yeah.
But yeah, like,
no, I know. He falls
who's
asleep right away. It was pretty
who's kicking him
useless.
out of bed?
Yeah, it was pretty.
Like,
He's pretty useless, and that's
He's
it.
my boyfriend, but no.
So you got one?
I'm go. Yeah, go ahead. You have anything else?
was
No,
just-
I don't mind being one.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was wondering still, like, because they didn't. I know stress causes and shit, but they didn't really say after she woke up from the sleep test that she had that notice that all of a sudden she had the JT streak here, but she had it all on the white, white up part of her hair. But they never actually mentioned it,
hairstyle?
right? Yeah, I know, and I know it's also caused by stress and blah blah blah, but
But it wouldn't
like
immediately.
really all of a sudden, as soon as she woke up, she just
it's
literally
not like-
woke up. It was white.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
not like you just bleached your fucking hair.
Yeah, so I mean that was kind of fucked up for me, and like they don't know, they never really said anything. I know,
they
I-
didn't really explain it. No, they didn't really.
they didn't even get to it.
Yeah. So and
But you
and-
kind of know.
Well, she returns with it. It's actually a prominent look of her character
Feature, right?
in the
Where's-
third film. In the third
Yeah.
film, she comes back, and it's like a longer straight. Like it's very.
Well, it's her whole hair.
No, I know,
but
but
even
like
by the end of the movie, it gets thicker.
yes, but that's how it looks like in the third
Yes.
movie too. So by the third movie, it's actually a big part of her character.
But in
that
the third movie, it would make sense because it would have time to grow out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, she wakes up and this entire
And she's
streak is
older
there.
in the third movie.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So you're right. That's a good one, Jay.
That is a good
What
one.
else?
I got no. Was it all just a dream, bro? Because they got into the car at the end, right?
I don't know what version of the film you saw, but there's actually 2 alternate endings to the film where it is.
I just got them driving off, bro.
Yeah. So there's that. There's that where the car turns into.
They're all
Freddy.
there, yeah.
Yeah. But then there's another one that they had where it's like
So I didn't
actually,
have Blu-ray. What was it?
yeah, we watched the Blu-ray. There's an alternate ending. There's 2. There's one
Well,
where
there's 3 endings.
yeah, there's one where it's the same
mean-
version that you saw. There's one
Yeah.
where it's the same version that you saw. But
Yeah.
at the end, Freddy, like you see him driving the car,
Yeah.
which he doesn't.
Yeah, I seen that at one point. Yeah, like
Yeah,
what the fuck?
It's weird. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's not the version they went with. They ultimately went with the one where you don't see him and the mother,
Rod's driving off,
which is a
though.
very apparent doll. Like it's a straight up
Of
doll,
course.
and then like you
Gets
you,
pulled
you
through the
see it
window.
get
You
pulled.
see
through
that?
the
I seen
window.
that
Yeah,
part, bro. Like, she got sucked through that fucking little
No,
hole.
but it's like it cuts from her to the car to back to her, and then it's
Yeah.
like a mannequin, and then you see it like
Oh my God, it was so
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that
yeah.
part was very apparent too.
Looked like a clown car with the Freddy fucking roof. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's another version of that where it's a good ending instead of the,
happy
cliffhanger,
version,
the
yeah.
happy version, where she comes out. She's like, you know what? Same thing. I'm gonna quit.
Wasn't that the happy version besides getting pulled through the window?
No, because that's a bad version. Because like you said, at the end it looks
That
like
was
they're
the
fucked.
scary
It's
version.
a nightmare, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and like you said, is it a dream, right? So it kind
Yeah.
of leaves that up in the air. And
Okay.
then to your point, that's my unanswerable question is what the fuck happened to her? Because we end on this note and then she appears in the third film and she's alive.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, what the hell happened? Right? Like
Yeah.
you said, like was it just another nightmare or was it for real?
But then they're all there, so obviously there's
Right.
some type of fuckery
That's
happening.
right. That's right. So the other version of it though is just that nice version, Jay, where the mother comes out. It's like the same thing. Oh, I'm gonna quit drinking. Oh, really? That's great. And she literally just gets in the car and then they roll off. Johnny Depp and the rest of them,
No.
and it doesn't turn into Freddy. Like
Yeah.
it's just like
Just
everything.
the
ends.
regular Cadillac.
So they didn't go with that version, but it was also shot that version of the ending.
It's so
essentially,
bad
yeah.
because at one point it's like just a voiceover of
Yeah.
like the original thing. It's like, "Hey guys, we're gonna
Yeah.
go for a drive," or
It's-
something stupid.
It's like
I don't know.
it's like some other
Oh my
person.
God.
It's like
it was
they-
so bad.
Yeah, it's
and then they drove off into the sunset.
yeah, because that's not it wasn't fully edited,
Yeah.
right? So they're just like, yeah, it's funny, right? So those are the
Yeah.
special features sometimes that are fun on these Blu-rays, right? When you watch them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I knew I said Blu-ray right away because I watched it on Prime. I only seen the
Yeah.
one ending, right? I seen
Yeah,
the scary
that's right,
ending
that's
in
right.
that sense, right? So, but yeah, no, that's hilarious that you said that.
Yeah. Yeah, mine was that what the hell happened to her character, kind of like what you were saying, like we don't know if it's real or not, but I was more saying it just because, like, again, she shows up in 3 and there's no explanation
No,
of it. I'm
it's
just
just
like,
like-
I'm like, okay. And my big one was, how long is Glenn actually awake for when she asks him to fucking, like, what are we saying here? Are we banking on like 2 minutes? Like,
Yeah,
this guy,
literally.
he seems to be
He's
awake.
like narcoleptic.
He didn't care. He's just sitting there, puts his headphones on. Next thing you know,
He has narcolepsy. He's
No,
like
no,
sitting
no,
there
no.
and he's like,
No, not even
Which
that
one?
time though. The one where
When he's
he's
sitting in the
he's in the
chair.
room with her.
when he
Yeah,
when he kicks him out of bed, she
Yeah.
kicks him out of bed and he's sitting in the chair and then all of a sudden he's like,
that's literally the reason why
What
she
else
says,
is there to
"You can't
do?"
Look up. I need you to sit here and watch me sleep. She goes into the dream, and then the guy's asleep like right away.
yeah,
Like,
she's like panicking and shit like that. And then again, she has an alarm on.
so how
This
did?
woman has fucking alarms for like every 2 hours.
That's why
I'd be
it's
pissed.
that's why it's unanswerable though. How long do you think he stayed awake? Like 5 minutes?
yeah, he
Yeah.
fucking went to bed.
John-
Yeah. Can
Johnny Depp always neglecting women, eh? Fuck.
right. All right.
No?
Into the big categories here, guys.
But hey, I want to ask you a question. Do you think that hand really weighed that much, like they said, because they used
Yes.
a different
Oh, yeah.
actor in the beginning, right?
That's one of the
So-
notes that came across.
They used a different actor for that first scene that I was telling you about because he's the only one that knew how to put the glove together.
One of the facts that I came across was that the actual thing did weigh a lot, and
Yeah,
because of that, it actually added to the way he held it for his
yeah, and
character.
it looked kind of like that's why he had that like sort of weird fucking walk, right? Okay. I thought I read that too, but I didn't know 100% if that was 100% true or not.
I came across that, yeah, for sure. I mean, who knows with these things? These are just things that we read on the internet, but I can believe it.
Yeah.
Okay, career peak. Do you want to do this first? Or
I said Robert Englund.
Robert Englund. This
Really?
is what he's known for. Yeah, this is
Yeah, so that he
Yeah.
doesn't really do anything else.
yeah.
Or he pops into other horror films as like
What's I
just
mean?
a
He does like
stand-in.
little cameos and stuff like that, like Stranger Things and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's not like a lead man anymore. Like this
But-
is his.
But because of this role, he gets those
Yes,
things.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like he is the.
But I mean,
horror-
like, how many times did he actually play Freddy?
all of them except for the newest one.
all of them except for the new
Okay,
one.
so yeah, so he's
Yeah.
never really he's
Nine
he's never
films.
really peaked in a sense. I mean,
The only
this has
time
just
they
been his
changed
career.
it was the newest one,
Yeah.
the remake.
So this has just
remake.
really been his career, right? Like in general, like there's been no peak or
When he does
or
all the
climb.
cons
It's
and
just-
everything like that. It's been
you're
Freddy.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He does like
crazy.
appearances here and there, but that's
Because I didn't think of
not
that.
like a character.
I thought of like all those other like fucking no name characters in here. I'm trying to think of like who the fuck is a career. I couldn't even think of it. I didn't. But you know what? That the way you're describing it actually makes sense. Sorry, not
No,
that you don't make sense, but
No,
I get it.
I agree. I agree with what he's saying too, because to be honest with you, up till today, up to prior to recording, because I went over my notes again, I just put him as mine as well. Because originally I had Heather Langenkamp, Nancy, because same with her. She doesn't really, I mean, she still worked to this day, like we heard earlier. She's in a Netflix show.
But she's not a big name
No,
by any means.
no.
But because he's known for this character, I think you're right. He peaked with this character.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
This was his peak.
That doesn't
This
mean
is
that
his peak.
that's what he'll forever be known
Yes.
for, is this role. Yeah. So I agree with you 100% on that
Yeah.
one. Yeah. It has to be him. It has
This is
to be.
his legacy.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
right.
it.
It has to be him for that. Not to say like he didn't do other good things or he's not
No,
good. No,
no.
yeah, exactly.
no, yeah.
I agree.
He's always a good person in like in those little roles that he shows up in like fucking
he's
different
always
movies
great.
like Stranger Things, shit like
Yeah.
that, right? Like there's always it's like
Good
how
actor,
Stephen
but
King
this
used
is
to
what
jump in
Known for.
Yeah.
in certain films here and there. You know what I mean? So it's his own film. Stephen King would jump in
Well,
like
Stephen
you know, as
King
a little
always cameos in his movies.
yeah, as always does a little cameo here or there, right? So but yeah, I didn't even think of that. You know, I might have to jump on your wagon there.
Yeah.
As long as Nico doesn't mind. But seriously, like
Whoa.
I know. I just thought I didn't know if you would have picked that up. I did it really quick to see if you got it. I know Nico smiled. He's used to me already, so he knows
I'm
where.
not used to you.
Yeah, I know you are. I know. I know. You're just as used to me by now. Trust me. You know, Christine seen me dancing this weekend. Everybody, no.
I saw you eat. That was the biggest thing.
Oh wow! Hey, that was a. You know, nobody ever said that. You're the only one that said that. Sorry, that is a good one. That that was actually really good. Honestly,
Sure, no one
Because-
said that. Yeah.
nobody said that really at
No,
the
I'm
end of it all. No. Oh, actually, my brother said, yeah. Eat, dance, this, that. Yeah. You're too funny, guys.
Dance all the time. You're always like
That's it.
GT dances.
There you go.
JT dances. That's
All right.
it.
I don't ever see you fucking eat.
And
Those are
finally-
JT's perv dances, like
Yeah.
the Freddy. I did the Freddy dance on the TikTok. Remember?
Yeah.
You did. And then finally, that's a career peak. Who won the movie? Who won the movie? Big category here at the end. I'll go
Really?
first on this one.
Yeah, I don't even fuck.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna, just because we said career peak and all that. I mean, it's hard not to say again Robert Englund for this. It really is. But I'm gonna give a shout out to Wes Craven on this one.
That both of those.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Wes Craven and him. You can't
That's what I wrote.
give it to anybody else. I think either one of those. You have to give it to one of those guys. I think.
It's their franchise. That's what I think.
Exactly. They created a franchise, so like
Yeah.
I can't not give it to one over the other.
No
So I'm
point
gonna
intended,
say-
but they created a
That's literally
monster.
what I have.
Yeah.
I wrote Robert Englund,
Hey.
Abdi,
What's
and
that?
Wes Craven.
No point intended, but guess what? They created a monster. You know where that's coming from, right?
yeah.
I'm listening to too much Shady 45, bro. Fuck, man.
Different, Jay?
No, you know what? Now that you think of it, like it was one or the other because I couldn't say Johnny Depp. But, like I mean, that was his fucking second movie. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do a flip. But next time I come dancing, all right? I seen your show was live today on Twitch, guys. Gotta check her out, man. She plays a bunch of Sims and stuff. That's a friend.
Oh
of mine.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Nice.
She wants to throw up her Twitch thing in there, man. Let us know so we can.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
for
put
it.
your Twitch
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, put it up.
Yeah. But yeah, so Yeah, no, honestly, I like the way you guys thought of that, and then just coming out with that line and looking at Freddy there like this with the arm at the hand in this picture, it looked like they created a monster in that sense. So you know what, that actually, because I was gonna go with, I still was at first gonna go with Nancy, but I like the way you guys put that out there because I didn't think about it like that. Because I think Nancy did a good job. Because honestly, overall, I mean, she was a great actress, like shitty actress, but great for this what she needed to do. You know what that means? Like what her whole point, yelling, screaming, and taking.
I mean, you could even make an argument for Johnny Depp because he obviously got some attention for this movie, being in this film, and the fact that he was in this film, he got his next gig based off of this film, and from there on and on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's just one of those things people either don't know or they forget.
That's his startup.
But I think at this point in his career, it's something that most people don't know or that they forget. And then some people will point out that he was in this movie, but it's just like one of those one-off weird things. Oh, did you believe this guy was in this movie?
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? So I don't feel like he's known. Like, I don't think he won in that sense. Like, people don't look back on this and be like, oh yeah.
Well, no, it's not his most memorable role by any means.
Right. Because there's your first job, and then there's the thing that you broke through, right? Because like, I don't think anybody, maybe at least that
I don't know if this is a big breakthrough for him. Do you think so?
No, I'm saying it's not. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I would say you can make an argument for it, but I think ultimately it wouldn't be.
His major breakthrough was getting 21 Jump Street.
So I was going to say 21 Jump Street had to be it. That's what he's been known for.
That, obviously, but this was his first one. He did other jobs, but
that's right. Yeah, so I don't think he won the movie. I think
but he actually did a good job acting for a first role. Yeah. So you're so right. You know.
So are you going with Wes Craven then, or Robert Englund?
Maybe half one and half the other. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do it half and half, and they can't get full credits for it. Yeah, without both of them, I think with their minds creating it. Yeah, in that sense, like I know Wes Craven wrote and written, directed, but without having Robert Englund there to help bring it to life and how he did it, and who knows if he had some sort of idea to help out with the makeup. We don't know. I didn't take that deep of a dive into it, so I don't know. But yeah, for this to be his only real like serious role, too, as well. Like this you have to say for a Freddy movie in a sense, right? You can't. It's hard to say any other, like you said, any other person, just because they're most of the other people in a Freddy movie are just pass-bys, right? Yeah. Wes Craven and Robert Englund are the ones that are. That's their shit. Yeah. Yep. So there's a reason we went to watch it was for those two. Right. Well, mostly for Freddy, because when we're younger, we don't think of directors so much.
Especially at this time, I think directors didn't really become a cool thing to the '90s with like Tarantino and Kevin Smith and
that stood out. But yeah,
Tim Burton,
stylized directors became a big thing. The indie stylized directors became a big thing there. Obviously, you had big directors like Spielberg's and De Palma and what's his name, Scorsese. But his biggest things were in the '90s, as far as I'm concerned, right? Like Scorsese films, right? So,
but for playing a devil's advocate on that one, you know what? A lot of those directors wouldn't be who they are today without a specific person.
Yeah,
that helped them.
That's why
you know what I mean? Like Quentin Tarantino had somebody to help bring him. That you don't think that John Travolta, like all that, brought him more notability.
Well, that's why he's somebody that he worked at a video store. He's somebody that consumes so much movies that he already had an idea of what B, C, D list actors he wanted in his film from the get go. He there's notes from him, like if you look up from who he casted in his mind for Pulp Fiction before he did Pulp Fiction. And almost every single person he had in mind, he actually got in those roles. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, that's one of those things where you're working, you're living your whole life to that very moment. You're like, that's like when people make their first album. Your whole life experience has been put into that first effort that you put out, right? And that's why whenever these guys make their earlier films, it's a total expression of who they are as a person.
Oh yeah,
right. Like it shows. Like this is what I'm into.
When they actually get to be their creative self. Yeah.
Right.
Well, the thing too is like that era too, when Quentin Tarantino maybe came out, it was during that whole crazy party scene, Weinstein era, when they started getting noticeable. Like the directors started to get really notable.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, it was a production companies and where the
Yeah.
money came from and that shit. Like that helped
Indie
bring
film.
directors into the light. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Over like some of the actors in a sense.
Because they were young guys, young hotshot guys that maybe made films for 20, 30,000 that were actually becoming big hits, right? And they were doing
Mhm.
the circuit with them and everything else. And yeah, Weinstein's did have a big part in that. Absolutely.
Good
Both
call,
of them.
yeah.
Know that he's involved with both of those guys.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh yeah.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
but
That's a whole other topic. Yeah.
yeah.
Miramax
But
was
yeah.
everywhere.
Yes, yeah, that was the
Oh,
indie
for sure.
film
Yeah,
kinda
that was
place they
it,
went to.
like-
Yeah, yep. All right, so there you go. Any other comments about this movie, though, guys? That does it for all of our categories for this film. Any other comments? Last comments on this before we announce what the next film is and wrap up?
I just wonder, like, you know, what it must have felt like to be wearing that makeup and like that Freddy makeup and all that and even just having the mask, the glove that you know,
Yeah.
like just thinking about it in your head, like
But at that point, it wasn't
seriously,
iconic yet. So it's
no,
not-
but
it doesn't
just
have
to
the
even
same-
have to put that makeup on, like
Well, yeah.
that was like a kind of, you know, a first of its kind in a sense, like
Yeah.
almost like that because that's really graphic for its time too.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
why
yeah, you can go back
have
to 70s, but
makeup artist and the FX artist that actually did it on him.
yeah, like I mean, like
Hated it.
Nico said, with the stairs, I mean, like you literally had to make each of those steps so that they sunk in properly. I mean, you noticed that each of them was a proper hole for them to like stand in if you noticed, right? But they literally had to cut it out and make that whole set, you know, which was like
Yeah.
cool instead of having like, you know, just running up a regular
That
stairs that were
designer
green.
shit like
Yeah.
that, that's incredible.
Yeah, that stuff is, and you wonder how movies weren't so
I want to fall asleep.
like much money back then. I mean, they probably were a lot of money, but you know, at the end of the
But
the
they
end
did
of
it
it,
for cheap. That's the thing. They'd
they
find
were able to.
alternatives
Yeah,
to keep it in the budget. So that's why you get the weird,
yeah.
like,
And it's so funny. You think
batter, you get the Rice Krispies and all these types of things. Like
you think that movies would be cheaper now to make, but they
no.
seem to be costing a lot more. Yeah, even though there's half the people
No.
involved.
No, because they're more expensive to make now because of the CGI. Like that's expensive. That shit.
Yeah, that
it's
technology is not
It's
cheap.
not cheap, right? It's not.
No. And yeah, the whole setup behind it and everything. It's not just a green screen. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
No, and then you have to have all these friggin' specialized cameras.
Some
You can't
people-
just
yeah,
buy a
so the
fucking
movements
camera
and
off the
stuff.
side of the street.
They're spending record highs on films nowadays, and in terms of action movies or Marvel movies and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
The
Yeah,
only
and I'm just watching them for free.
You're talking about $200 million and all this kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
But the only difference is they'll spend $200 million and half the time they'll make $800 million, or you know what I mean? Like, so it's just like, or whatever crazy amount, billions of dollars. So
Yeah.
afford to spend that much if they know they're going to make it back, right?
Of
It's like,
course.
but it's just stupid money at one point that
Oh,
they're
it's
throwing at the wall,
insane.
right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean,
But
so-
this made sense in the 80s to end up actually stepping up the production too with horror movies because
like
that's
that.
when.
Jay Torrent, that's your new
good.
nickname.
That's a good
Well,
one.
hey, dude, I don't even use torrents, bro. I don't even have to. They got websites for that shit now with ads and everything on them. So I don't know how they get away with it, but
Right.
great job for whoever's coming out with those things.
But yeah, I'm
thumbs
gonna. The only comment I want to say about this overall though is just that it holds up. It holds up.
Oh,
It's
100%.
it's definitely I think the best
So a
installment.
classic horror.
Best installment I think would say of the series, and I say the same thing for Halloween when it comes to the original Halloween. I just think that there's a lot as basic of a plot as they are at this first film.
Yeah, this time.
An
Yeah.
introduction of the character, you could see where it made an impact and why it did the way it did, right? So like I
100%.
think even for a movie that's over 30 years old at this point, almost 40 years old that we're talking about, is it 40 years 80 what is it,
84, bro.
so
Yeah.
almost 40 years
38
old.
Next
So
year.
Yeah.
I think it holds up
Years
extremely
old.
well.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I'm very happy about
It's
this.
almost as old
Yes.
as me. For
Psycho, of course, and
Oh,
original
yeah.
Halloween were revolutionary. Yep. Because again, with the same thing with Halloween, it builds tension, like the score and
Everything
A lot of
added
it's got, that's what we never even talked about as a score, even in this.
there's not there's
still.
good. It's good in this. I
Yeah.
just think it's overshadowed by Halloween. Like when I just recently watched it not
Yeah.
too long ago.
Maybe
I just
that's
think
why. Yeah.
Halloween is the best example, I think, of a score like in a horror film.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
because
so-
like this one beyond the
I don't
logo.
know, Psycho, bro, too,
the
man.
piano, or whatever the
Yeah, the
music
score.
that they put in after the fact. Yeah,
But I mean,
exactly.
like you said thing, like what did you say? Hello, you said what did you just say? Halloween?
Halloween, yeah.
Yeah,
that
but
did
like
that.
he said too, even Psycho original like
Psycho
that
too, yeah,
because
yeah.
for a black and white film where you don't really see anything that's gonna be bloody and
Oh,
stuff like
stab-
that. Yeah, that whole yeah.
yeah, like everyone
Make it
knows
feel
that.
creepy. Yeah, that whole vibe, like that whole
That's even
symphony and shit
older.
they use. Yeah, no
Oh
shit.
yeah, it's in black and white. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Scream
That's
Queen.
fucked up, eh? Yeah, it is, eh?
Yeah.
Scream
Yeah, well,
Queen's
like look
fucking
at
crazy.
yeah, there's a bunch. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis still is one. I mean, she was just in the newest Halloween, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. So like there's a bunch of them out there still, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, so yeah, I think that's my main note about this. Anything you want to leave us with, or
Fantastic.
there you go.
And if you're still weirdly a person that hasn't seen this,
yeah,
change.
Yeah, Rob,
oh,
Michelle.
you've seen it now.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, now. Yeah.
So do you guys want to hear the pick for November? You interested to hear the pick for
Sure.
November, Jay?
It's not like some fucking war movie again, is it? Okay. I was gonna say, like, not for anything.
This is just you and me.
we
I
did our
think
work for the
November,
year.
unless somebody wants to join us, I think it'll just be you and me. But in December, stay tuned. It's going to be Jay's favorite, the Christmas movies. We always do one in December. We got October horror movie, December Christmas movie.
Fucking Christmas
Yeah,
movie.
Jay's favorite. And then, like I said, guys, here in the chat, or if you want to message me, if you have any ideas for new categories, like new things that we can discuss, new categories for the new year, we want to try to do some new ones possibly in the new year, change the format around a little bit. Let us know if you have any ideas for it. But yeah, my pick, the pick for the November, I'm thinking that we do Heat. Little
Ooh.
Heat. It's a 3-hour movie, so buckle in, Jay. You're gonna take you multiple days to watch this one. Hey, do you know about this movie? Have you ever seen that, Jay?
Yeah, bro, I've seen it. I've seen it like 3 times. Then that's the worst part. Now I gotta watch. So I've seen like 8,
Michael
3,
Mann.
6, 9.
Michael Mann
I still
film.
can't remember it. Yeah.
The first team up of well, actually no, I think they were in Godfather, but not sharing any time together. Because two they were both in it. This is Pacino and De Niro. Heat, man. Michael Mann, yeah.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's no Eminem in that fucking thing.
Eminem, bro. Michael Mann.
Yeah, I get it now, bro. Come on.
De Niro and Pacino are on this. This is one where it's like, he's got a huge ass.
Yeah.
This is this movie, right? And he's all up in it.
You gotta get the Ralph Garman.
There's a lot of overacting in this
I
one.
was
This
gonna
would be
say,
awesome.
I wonder who gets the over. No,
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys right now, Pacino's the
Pacino,
overactor.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I could go.
Pretty much any movie that Pacino is in is probably gonna be the overactor because how many people actually stick up with him like
Yeah,
on that level
but
of energy?
it's
Yeah,
so
no shit.
great.
No, I'm
yeah.
not saying it's bad, but his energy is always up here and everyone is like lingering down here. And it's just like he fucking just goes.
Yeah, Val Kilmer with the ponytail.
Oh,
That's
fucking
right.
Val Kilmer.
Yeah, he's
Val
in
Kilmer with the ponytail just
you
after.
know, there's an early Danny Trejo in this film. This is like
Love
this
Danny
is
Trejo.
literally Danny Trejo like right out of jail in this film.
That's
Like-
hilarious.
Why can't I remember that name for some reason, bro? Like,
Danny
why can't I
Trejo?
put a
Oh my
face
God,
on
he's
the
in
name?
everything.
Yeah.
I
Spanish.
love-
Hold on, I have to check it out. Hold on. I can't. I just honestly can't remember
So
why I'm having a brain for it.
so next month for our November film, we're gonna be doing Heat, guys. So
Wow, you didn't even give JT the one up for this one, eh?
what do you mean?
Like you didn't give him any warning?
No, I just like to
Well, we
spring it
talked. I think we talked about it.
We did
at
talk
one
about
point.
it. It
Yeah.
is on our short list of films we've wanted to
okay,
do.
okay.
Yeah. Another one that we keep playing around with that we've yet to do that Jay's brought up a few times, but we haven't committed to
Who
it.
did you say was the guy?
Okay.
Yeah, but we haven't done that yet. What's that?
Who'd you say was the guy? Oh, Danny Trejo. Yeah,
Danny
yeah.
Trejo.
It was. That's the one from fucking Dust Till Dawn.
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah, he's in Dust Till Dawn. Yeah.
He's in the fucking airplane, Air Con Air, or whatever that.
That's a Christmas movie for you.
Con Air.
Harold and Kumar.
Oh yeah, he's in Harold and Kumar 3D
Yeah.
one.
Bro,
yeah.
he's in some crazy stuff if you think about it. Yeah, you don't realize, but he's got a lot of small
Danny Trejo's
roles.
in a
And,
lot.
yeah,
Yeah, Danny Trejo's in a lot. So yeah, you get to see him in
cut
this.
up
Very
Spanish
young.
face.
Very young in this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, so buckle in.
He was really big, no?
Yes.
Like I know he's older now, obviously, right?
Yeah,
But
at one point. So
at one
buckle
point he
in.
was pretty jacked.
3-hour film, but definitely try to rewatch it and tune in with us. That's going to be a really
Be a
great
6-hour podcast.
I think so. That's well, because I have so much to say about De Niro and Pacino. I could definitely see us going for 3+ hours talking about
Oh,
that.
bro.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good one.
This was almost 3 hours.
Yeah, it's 2 hours and 2.5 hours. So
We're
yeah,
pushing it. Nico wants to go to bed. You know, watch his fucking cabinets of whatever.
Cabinets of Curiosity.
That's
Curiosity. I gotta watch it. I haven't watched it yet. So, but let me ask you a quick question. Was that the one that there was? I know there was a movie that there was or something like that was supposed to come out that had Johnny Depp. Speaking of him, because he was in this movie, right?
No, that's the Harry Potter movie you're thinking about.
Yeah, where he lost that role, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't 100% sure. I didn't know. I know there was something that was up, but I thought it's
like that. The new Harry Potter films, they're called something like that, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right.
Making me blank on it. It's
Yeah.
driving me-
Sorry. I know. Because I for some reason I thought that one was it for some reason.
No.
And
No, it was never supposed to be in the.
Oh my
Guillermo
God,
del
I can't
Toro
recall.
thing, as far as I know.
What the fuck?
It's okay. We're gonna remember as soon as we end it. Don't worry.
Jay always has to throw up some confusing thing at the end there. There you go.
It's all right. Makes you think
brand.
on that note.
On brand there.
Keep thinking. That's it. Keep thinking.
Yes.
Yeah,
and where
yeah,
to,
yeah.
where to find them.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So thank you, Christine, for coming on for the Halloween
you, Christine.
special. It was a lot of fun. Definitely, let's do it next year, but let's do Halloween.
So don't let me-
Are you coming for Christmas too, or what? Or no?
No, she doesn't come on Christmas.
Oh yeah. I know. Even though she's Christmassy, you know.
She might weasel her way on. We'll see. We don't have a guest right now, so we'll see what
Yeah, I
happens.
was gonna say she is.
have somebody with you.
We
I
had
think.
Lewis. We had
Yeah.
Lewis.
Yeah, it's not all just you're either all Halloween. You're all Halloween during October, and you're all fucking
November
Christmas.
1st, then Christmas.
November 1st.
Yeah.
Starting
Then
from then.
the hat comes
Shit.
out.
Shit happens fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like so from September to December, I'm fucking intolerable.
So there's no You don't have no like Remembrance Day
No.
movies or anything like that.
No, we're not big on that one around here.
No other fucking holidays matter. I don't give two shits about Easter. Valentine's
There you
can
go.
go.
There you go. Christina's spoken.
Well, now we're gonna have you on for Easter. We're gonna have the fucking what's the one where he's carrying the cross there? What's that one called there?
Passion of the Christ.
Passion of the Christ. You're coming on for that one.
There's on Christmas Day when that came out.
That's a Scorsese film, man. Did you know
It
that?
is, yeah, man. It's a good film.
For the
Never
longest
watched
time.
it again.
It's a good film. Just like
I
that.
don't recall it. I just remember going with a whole group of friends.
Have you ever
It's a
seen it?
long ass film.
That's a good movie. 12 Commandments.
Even that one
I
too.
watch
Holy
that
fuck.
religiously every year.
Yeah, we're gonna do also. What's the other one during Christmas that comes on? It's a Wonderful Life.
I like It's a Wonderful
We might
Life.
do that at some point. Don't just throw that out there.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool, man. I even forgot all about
That's a
that.
good movie.
That's a
That's
good
a good movie.
conversation
That
piece.
is a good conversation piece. We might have
But
to
then
do that
I'd
one.
really have to actually sit there
Yeah,
and
we
actually
have to
focus
really
and
depress
study that one.
We'll have to really
Oh.
depress folks with that one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start crying and shit in that fucking movie.
like lights and things to make it all happy in
It's a
here.
classic. I watch it every year. So
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, guys, that'll be it for this show. Next month, Eat for November. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys
Thank you,
next time.
everybody.
Later.
Bye.
Peace out.
Later.